right, we are back here for the K1 men's quarterfinal round of the 2022 ICF Freestyle World Cup here on the Chattahoochee River, Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, Alabama. I'm Anna Bruno.
I'm Jake Boswell. We're really pleased to be here. We're very excited to see the men's quarterfinal kick off. There's going to be some big moves in here for sure.
Absolutely. So this round, we've got 20 athletes who qualified yesterday during the preliminary rounds who will be cutting to the top 10 paddlers to see who will go on to the semifinals, which will compete tomorrow. So this is a kind of crux move. What do we got? 3 rides? 2 rides count?
That's right. 3 rides, your 2 best combined scores count. So there is kind of one throwaway ride here for the paddlers. So like we've seen throughout the whole competition on Good Wave, it's not the not the easiest feature to stick on, so there will be some flushes, and that's where these paddlers might want to throw away a ride.
That's right. So coming up in this heat, we're going to see Kenji Handa, John Best, Gavin Barker, Rob Crow, and Corey Sheehan. So Kenji Handa out of Japan, John Best, Gavin Barker, Rob Crow out of Great Britain, and Corey Sheehan of the United States. So international heat here, which is exciting.
Absolutely. There's a lot of British paddlers in here that are normally used to being right up the top of the table. So they're going to have to fight hard to do well in this competition. But anyway, we're going to start off with our Japanese paddler here. Let's go.
Kenji Handa. He is an environmental investigator looking to start things off there with a huge right blunt, going for a huge left blunt to the other direction. He says he also enjoys bird watching. Which I did not know. I also enjoy bird watching. What a lovely, relaxing sport. But Kenji going to get some points on the board here with that big flashback style backstab, followed up by a little bit of a back roundhouse. So these paddlers have been reverse seated. So this is the bottom of the top 20, and they are going to be looking, with big moves like that air screw to try and break into that top 10.
That's right. The cutoff there for prelims was I think around 685 points. So that's a combined score of 2 rides. So on average, you're looking at around 350, 340 points to get you up into that cutoff. So Kenji was the bubble boy, if you like, setting that bar. After that, we're going to be followed up by John Best from, again, sort of Nottingham, UK. Yeah. John's been in the scene for a long time.
Actually, John and I first met in Uganda in 2007, so I was really stoked to see him come out of retirement, if you will, for this World Cup championship.
Perhaps retirement from freestyle kayaking for a while, for sure, but John is actually a whitewater raft guide and a business owner around UK, and runs a lot of whitewater rafting.
Rapid Horizons.
That's right. And kayak coaching, and he is no stranger to big wave paddling. He spent a lot of time on the Nile in Uganda and on the Ottawa, so John's going to throw down hard.
He is, and he's looking to show that he has still got it with a big blunt, maybe a Pan Am. There's the Pan Am going nice and over vertical with that Jackson Rockstar. It looks like he might even be borrowing a boat from fellow competitor Nick Troutman here as he goes to bring it both ways with a blunt, maybe a roundhouse to the left. So John backing it up, looking for a backstab or a back blunt. Right into the blunt. He was not happy with that. And that's where competitive experience shows, or wave boating experience shows, being able to tell, were my angles flat? Were my angles where I wanted them to be? John just going for that blunt over and over, thinking, well, might as well make sure the judges saw that I did it. Maybe a donkey flip, maybe a Pan Am right on the buzzer. Strong first ride for John.
Yeah, absolutely. John came out with a lot of force there. He knows for pushing through to the next round, he's got to go all out, and it's going to mean air screws, aerial Pan Ams, like big Pan Ams, big blunts.
I think we're going to be expecting to see both air screws, absolutely. John here, it says that he was a junior European Cup champ in 2005, a British champ in 2006, and he was on the GB team for 7 years. However, his last Worlds was in Thun, Switzerland in 2009. So it has been a minute, but still absolutely showing that he's still got it and has years and years of competitive and wave boating experience. But, it's challenging balancing, juggling a business, owning a business, running a business, having a family, and John out here with partner Emily daughters Lottie and Izzy out here cheering him on, and what just a cool thing to do with your family.
Those guys are out here for quite a while now. They work so hard throughout the summer on their business, and it's nice for them to have a proper family holiday with all four of them. It's really awesome. But now we're going to move over to another Nottingham paddler. It's Gavin Barker. He's going to want to be challenging for medals here. He didn't have the best prelims. He's dropping in now. He's going to go probably for both air screws off the bat. There we go. Looking for number one. Straight into a bit of a cartwheel end. Into a back blunt.
Yeah, Gav, really talented hole boater, staple of the GB team. Strong competitor. There he goes, bringing that, going pass to pass, move to move. If he goes to try and rack up points on the scoreboard, we're seeing blunts, we're seeing back blunts, we're seeing a helix, possibly getting some bonuses on that helix. That was huge. Going for a helix the other direction. Gav is just going to tick off the score sheet and maybe trying to throw the blunt McNasty, but catching an unfortunate bounce as the wave just pulled him right up off the pile. Still, a far stronger showing for Gav than yesterday's prelims already.
Absolutely. That was a really explosive ride there from Gav straight away. I think it almost looked on that last move there like he maybe hadn't quite expected to throw a move on every pass. So he went for a bit of a roundhouse, looking maybe for the KY, but wasn't really expecting it. So, it's a big ride for Gav straight out the back, looking at going up to 8-7-1, 8-8-1. So we'll have to see what the judges think, but it's a good start, I think, for Gavin.
Strong start, and he is definitely going to be looking to try and boost into that top 10. You can see that big Pan Am to the right there, and as he goes to back it right up into a back blunt, maybe a back Pan Am, as he works to try and bring his boat over vertical. So Gav, I think we're watching the scores still finalized here as the judges deliberate. Did he get the bonuses? Where were his angles? But I think he's got a very distinctive style, as he's largely self-taught. Watched a lot of videos, went out there, figured it out on his own. And I do think that kind of shows in each paddler. You can see their style, and as the wave gets so hard to see on the camera here, it's nice that you can pick them out, isn't it?
Yeah, much the same as our next paddler here, which is Rob Crow. Again, another Nottingham paddler. Gav and Rob paddle a lot, almost all the time. They are training partners, and they're head-to-head in every single competition, always spurring each other on. Rob's going to come out the same, wanting to improve and really head for that semi-finals placing.
Yeah, Rob, I think, is a paddler so many people want to just see do well and paddle to his potential, because he's so explosive, he's so technical, and he trains really hard, always trying to kind of up that level, up the ante. And it's fun to get to see these guys all the way from the UK out here, still back in the eddy together and getting to push each other again. So they're still working on Gavin's score. Whew, well, the way to give the judges' brains a workout.
That's normally a good sign. If there's a good pause between your ride and the next paddlers, it's looking like you're giving the judges a lot to think about, and that normally means your score is going to be quite high.
I agree. Either that or it means you've done something really questionable. But I don't think that's the case here. They're just trying to make sure, hang on, did I get this move? Did I get that move? Is there anything that I missed? Because it is challenging to keep track of so many tricks and each direction.
That's right, particularly with a foam pile of this size.
Here we are,
It's
score 895. So strong first ride score for Gav, though I know he will be looking to break that 1,000-point mark over the course of his time here at Good Wave.
Absolutely. So now Rob dropping in. He's made the ferry nicely. He's dropping right into the center of the wave where it's nice and sticky. Looking for a Pan Am to the right there. Maybe an air screw, but it's going around a bit more like a Pan Am. There's the air screw.
Yeah, Rob having a little bit of a challenge navigating just, I would say, like the violent, chaotic nature of this wave. But there he goes, still putting down some really strong tricks, big amplitude. It's so easy from up here to say, my gosh, it looks easy to do, but it is hard.
Absolutely not. It's very turbulent in there. Rob catching a back edge, which is pretty brutal in here. It's a serious force of nature, this wave here. And Rob just catching the back there and flushing off. He's had a decent score on there, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be what Rob wants to be setting at this stage.
No, not at all. Especially, catching that unfortunate edge quite early in his ride. We know that Rob has got a lot more to give and a lot more to put onto the board. So let's look at that replay here as we see that beautiful air screw landing a little wide, but bringing it straight. And again, kind of you can see him just kind of taking that bounce as he carves. So really just a dynamic wave, explosive paddler, beautiful back blunt, maybe a back Pan Am. Oh, and then the violence.
That's not a nice place to be with that tumble there.
No, it's not.
But Rob really showing his skill and being able to almost turn it into cartwheels to retain the feature. But then again, just taking another bit of a tumble there over the stern.
Next up, we've got Corey Sheehan out of the US of A. So Corey paddling that Jackson Rockstar 5. Corey coming out to team trials last year, making the team, and I think reigniting his passion for freestyle. He's said recently that he's been trying to do a lot of work on himself, figuring out how to be a better paddler, a better person, and I just think that's very admirable to say, hey, how can I improve, not just as a paddler, but as a person? So starting things off with a huge air screw, maybe a big right blunt, a blunt to the left, spinning it around, going for that beautifully vertical backstab. You know, you're seeing a lot of paddlers choose to spin into one of them. Oh, a big back Pan Am as he brings it boat over. Can he stick the feature?
That back Pan Am was massive there. Really like that from Corey. Unfortunately, taking a pretty unlucky flush there. This feature's quite surgy, so that big foam pile at the back has got a bit of a tongue that's coming through the middle, that if you catch a bit too much boat on the end of your move, you might just flush through.
That's right. You can really see the way that the wave actually works here, but we are so fortunate to have Georgia Power providing water here on the Chattahoochee River. So Corey's score solidifying at 436.67. That should put him in the 4th place position. So no one is safe, right, as we come through this round. So every paddler is going to be wanting to sit at the top of the leaderboard for the best chance to break into the top 10.
Absolutely. So we're back to Kenji from Japan here. He's going to want to improve on his first ride of 240 points. Oh, not a great start there with a bit of a roll in the hole, and it's going to flush him off the back, unfortunately. If you catch too much paddle blade under that foam pile, the green water will get you and it will pull you off. So that's not a great second run for Kenji. So he's going to have to really throw down hard on his 3rd and final run.
Yeah, that is a lot of pressure to have on you.
Absolutely, it's not the most fun.
What is though? Kayaking, personally.
Oh, no, it's always fun.
Do you want to give a massive thank you to our many sponsors helping support this event here, as well as the city of Uptown Columbus and Whitewater Express, who really just taking Southern hospitality to a whole new level. I've heard so many athletes this week saying we've never been treated this well at a World Cup or at an ICF freestyle event. This whole town is has just really embraced the sport, embraced the community, and it is really incredible to see and be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Whitewater Express have been running shuttles the whole week at pretty much the paddler's convenience, which has been absolutely amazing. Boat storage and food on for the athletes. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And right now, John Best back in the feature for his 2nd ride. Oh, almost a side kick there as he started things off with a nice aerial blunt to the right, and then just catching that bounce and still retaining that rail control. You can see him working to go over towards the surfer's right side as he uses that time to spin into a back blunt. John just taking his time, setting up to find that right pass, ruddering around. You know, those rudder strokes, oh, he's going to the danger curler. Rudder strokes, actually a really useful tool in the surfer's arsenal.
Absolutely, but you need to be careful not to get that paddle blade dug too far in.
Yeah, then you go for the gambler. Looks like John's maybe trying to set up a helix, maybe a back blunt, and unfortunately that is time for John's 2nd ride. Still, points on the board.
160 points on the board. That will take him up approximately, around 400 points. It's not going to be enough to put him right up there yet.
But yeah.
I expect he's going to want to improve on his last ride and do at least a repetition of his first.
Look at that, almost that trophy move side kick there, bringing the boat up completely off the wave and then landing back down in control.
You do need to be careful of those side kicks there. You over rotate them and they start to go into an air screw, and that's when you start to get some serious points.
Yeah. So as you said, John bringing his combined ride score to 421.67. He will be looking to continue improving on that. So yeah, beautiful day here on the Chattahoochee River. This is only heat 1 of the men's quarterfinal rounds. Dropping in for ride number 2, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Gavin Barker.
Okay, let's see what Gav's got for us. He's got pretty much an entry air screw there, then a blunt to the left with some air, a back blunt to the right with some air as well, racking up points nice and quickly. Lovely right blunt there, maybe not quite getting the Pan Am if he was looking for that. To get the Pan Am, you've got to go over 90 degrees. So that's an over vertical blunt, and now just catching a very unfortunate flush there, but even still 466.67 points before the judges start to...
Yeah, with still lots of time on the clock. So beautiful, explosive power there for Gav on that air screw. So much amplitude. He's one of those paddlers I think makes it look easy, you know? You're like, oh yeah, I could do that too. And then you get on the wave and you're like, wait, hang on, this is actually really challenging. But, you know, I know Gav's going to be looking to bring that ride score up, retain the feature the entire time in his third ride. Still one more ride to go. Look at that big air blunt, nice and dead and vertical.
One thing I love about Gavin's paddling is his posture is always perfect. He's so fast to recover from each move. He's just so powerful somehow in his core. It's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, and now dropping in Rob Crow, also out of Nottingham, England. Multiple-time British team paddler, starting things off with a big air screw to the right. Looking to set up, find the pass, air screw the other direction. Again, landing a little bit sideways, but still managing to bring it around. We'll see if the judges decide to reward that trick. Ooh, catching that edge bobble as he flirts with the curler. You can see him working to set up and trying to generate momentum. You see, the trick is that the paddlers have to be able to throw from almost anywhere on the wave, trying for a Pan Am, but looking like he's struggling to slow down and take his time, going for that back blunt, catching an edge, but staying controlled. That's a big, nice back Pan Am. That's going to help the score. Oh, a beautiful Pan Am into a McNasty. I don't even know how he did that right there.
His blades got crisscrossed everywhere. I thought he was going for a wave monkey, but somehow still pulling it round. It's up to the judges to see whether it scores. But yeah, that's a textbook air screw there from Rob Crow. Yeah. These guys, Rob and Gavin, can pull air screws on the smallest waves you've ever seen and still stick them, and they'll go hull to hull.
I know. I was, struggling to carve around and do a roundhouse, and there they are, and on Fairy Wave, I believe, is it called, just throwing air screws. Yeah. Really, really remarkable and impressive ninja skills, if you will. And that's it, It's like when it comes to kayaking, you look at this and you see the big tricks, and you think, that's what's the important skills are. That defines a good kayaker. But a lot of the times it's these more subtle skills, these ninja skills, the edge control, the balance, the timing, the reaction, the knowing how your boat's going to respond to the water that makes the difference between throwing the air screw and retaining the feature or just throwing the air screw and washing off.
That's right. I mean, Rob and Gav, John even has got a lot of experience, as is Kenji, in that S-turn shape to set up for the move in the first place. You have to come down the wave and carve back to catch the pile in order to be able to set up. If you can't set up, you're not going to be able to throw the move.
Yeah, but right now, out of US of A, here in the southeast, Corey Sheehan dropping in. Corey, I wouldn't say making his return to competitive freestyle, but it is awesome to see him back out here. Oh, going to throw so big that he actually threw himself right off the wave. And that is the gamble and the risk that these athletes have to take each time. It's how big do I go? How much energy can I put in before it's actually going to be too much?
That's right, Anna. So if you're going to throw down the surfer's right shoulder, you're going to get a huge amount of air, and it's going to help your rotation if you're going over to the left. The problem is if you hit that green water on your landing, it's really going to push you out the back of the pile very quickly. Throwing straight down the middle is a little more reliable, but you might not get the bounce that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really have to work to generate your own momentum in that middle part, control the foam. And it is challenging. But
I think we're going back to the top with Kenji for his last ride after here.
That's right. Third and final ride here of heat number 1 in the quarterfinals. So 20 paddlers looking to cut down to 10. 3 rides, 2 rides count. It's a really, I think, my favorite round in competitive freestyle. You get the 3 rides, you get time to like find your rhythm, but you still get a dropped ride score.
Yeah, that's right. You've still got something to really push the boat out on the last run if you need to.
Now,
But still super tight, and it's anyone's game from here.
it's true. But right now, Kenji Handa, 3rd and final ride here, all the way from Japan. So Japanese team always putting together a really strong showing at the ICF Freestyle event. Strong competitive freestyle scene in Japan, and Kenji's going to be looking to show that off. You can see him trying to find that edge, and unfortunately catching his bow on that bobble.
Yeah, that's a real shame for Kenji. He's been paddling really well throughout this competition.
He actually
some
took
big rides
second
down.
in the last Japanese championship, so we know that he's got the skill.
Yeah. I think, sadly for Kenji, unless we see a real disruption in the rest of the heats, that might be the end of competition for him here.
You can see, I'm guessing here, Gav giving John some coaching here in the eddy as he gets ready for his next ride. That is one of the fun things about this sport. It is such a, I would say, a really supportive community. Everyone helping each other out, giving each other pointers. You know, in between rides, you see athletes down there cheering each other on. And I think it's just such a nice environment to be a part of.
Absolutely. Like John and Gav being best mates for years. It's like Dave McClure coaches me now and again and gives me a helping hand when I need it.
Yeah.
And I'm there to support him. It's such a supportive community.
Yeah, seniors
We're all
coaching
there
the
for everyone.
juniors, juniors coaching the seniors these days.
Yeah,
as they
absolutely.
are. So John, starting things off, looking for a blunt to the left. Oh, that is unfortunate.
That is a shame for John Best there. He was hoping for a big ride just to total up the scores a little bit more. So John is going to be stuck with a score of 421.67. So John is going to have to sit and watch nervously now through the next sort of 3 heats after his to see where that's going to put him on the table.
That's a tough place to be in. I think he's going to know, I don't think I did enough to make it to the top 10, but where will I finish overall in this World Cup? You know, one of the best parts about this event is that it's not limited to national team members, right? So any single person can come out and take part and participate. And so I think sometimes it's just for the pure bragging rights as well.
That's right, particularly the British team, the American team, the Canadian team, the Japanese team, are seriously strong teams to get on to.
They are.
Including the French as well. If you can get on that team, you seriously have a chance of making finals and medal positions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's no joke. So Gav dropping in. We saw an early flush on his second ride, but a big first ride that Gav will be looking to repeat. You can tell as he starts to find his rhythm here with a big air screw. Oh my God, catching his edge, going for the cartwheel. Oh, a double window shade. Still somehow retaining the feature. I don't think, unfortunately, the one move you don't get a link bonus on is the window shade.
I could do with that link.
Yeah, me too, honestly. So big front blunt, big back blunt, backstab the other direction. Gav refinding his rhythm and his flow. Backstab the other way just to make sure that he got both those tricks in clear of the foam. Points are racking up, still 12 seconds, and he's got a lot of time to play with here. So I've seen Gav put down 300 points in 10 seconds before. Will he do it now? It's going to take one air screw, and does he have time for one more big trick? Maybe that helix, and unfortunately that is the buzzer. See if he takes a pass just for fun, just to get one more practice surf in, because honestly, the practice time here has been limited. And so a lot of athletes are relying on, I think, base skills developed over the years. Look at that air screw. That was just ridiculous. But yeah, athletes really haven't had time to dial in the nuances of this feature at this level. It's a slightly different level than we had yesterday. And so, you know, that does really, it can make a difference.
Yeah, the levels have changed a lot, haven't they, over the event. We've been training after getting knocked out of the ambush event. Some of us have been training down here at Good Wave on a wave a fraction of the size.
Yeah, a wave actually that the locals here were like, we never even paddled Good Wave at that level. Why are you out there?
Oh, it was still really good fun.
It is still really good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's what happens when you live somewhere with one of the best waves. You get real spoiled. And then everyone else comes out and they're like, this would be the best wave in all of, maybe not all of England, because I think there might be some people that would take offense to that.
Yeah, the Trent Lock is probably up there with the best.
Yeah. So looking at this replay of Gav, so 660 points for his third ride, so not quite what he was hoping for, but still a strong showing. Will it be enough to place him in the top 10. Right now, Rob Crow dropping in. Rob, just one of my favorite paddlers to watch over in Nottingham on the whole boating scene, and showing that he's got the skills, is adaptable to bring those talents here to a very different style feature. Going for the air screw off the bat. Air screw the other direction, keeping the bow nice and high out of the water on that second air screw. Ooh, flirting with the curler as he goes for that. Ooh, clean blunt, maybe a clean Pan Am to the left. Spinning it back around as he goes to link that spin into a back blunt. Huge back Pan Am the other direction. That was amazing. Trying for a flip turn. Oh, right in the danger zone there. Wow. That was a better ride for Rob.
That was a great ride there from Rob. That was a huge Pan Am on that curler.
Yeah, I hope they show us another shot of that here on the replay in just a minute. Boom. Nice air screws, start things off. So consistent. Even as he kind of struggles, fights the foam, you can see that power in the launch as he just goes hull to hull, dead straight on that second air screw.
Here's that Pan Am, I think. Oh, no, he's setting up.
See, does he clean it? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's a
so you
clean
can see
Pan
him
Am there.
keeping the paddles out of the water on that initiation. Those are big points right there.
That's a Hurley classic move there.
Is it?
Using that shoulder for him, and it's pushing him back straight back into the pile. Yeah.
So
again,
athletes can get the base tricks here. They can also get an air bonus for air underneath their boat and the wave. They can get a clean bonus for not using their paddle for the initiation stroke of the trick. And they can even get a huge bonus on top of an air bonus if a trick is considered to be of significant size.
That's right.
Or amplitude.
I think the huge bonus for this competition on this wave is set as the height of a boat on top of the water. So that's coming in as a combined score for Rob now at 1446.67.
So 2 strong, consistent rides in the 700s from Rob Crow. It's going to be very interesting to see where the cutoff falls for these top 10 paddlers. I know Corey Sheehan is looking at the scoreboard, looking at the leaderboard, and thinking, if I need to put together a 1,000-point ride right now.
I'm pretty sure his first ride came in at about 440. So if he can match that, that's going to put him all the way. Well, he's already in 3rd place, but a little bit more comfortably in 3rd place.
Yeah. So I think Corey will be looking to, at the minimum, double his current ride score. Starting things off with a blunt, maybe a roundhouse there, a little bit flat on that first angle. And the judges have been strict. They know exactly what they want to see, going for the roundhouse the other direction. Corey going really big on his last ride, choosing to play it a little safer this time around. Nice back blunt. Again, athletes choosing to spin into that back blunt. Oh, going for the back blunt the other direction, maybe getting the spin out of it. And, you know, I forget now that everything is linkable. Oh, trying for that back Pan Am. Can he retain it? Yes, he does. Fantastic composure from Corey Sheehan of US of A. Going for the blunt, trying to link it into the McNasty. Really, going for that big Pan Am.
Nice Pan Am.
Right on the buzzer. Strong ride from Corey. I think he was almost trying a clean McNasty there. Clean pistol flip.
So, Anna, you've just said about, we spoke about air bonuses and huge bonuses. How does that link bonus work now? I think that's a fairly new addition to
It is. So
the wave
recently,
boating.
everything has become linkable. So there's always been combo moves in wave boating, you know, that you mentioned a KY earlier, which is a blunt into a pistol flip. Or you've got the bread and butter, one of my favorites, which is technically it's a front Pan Am into a back Pan Am. Front blunt into a back blunt. And so those tricks use the edge of the first trick to set up the next one. But now you can actually even spin into tricks. So you're seeing paddlers try and spin and then spin again as they come around into that back blunt. So you can actually, if you keep that flow of the rotation moving, you might be able to get a link bonus on both the spin as well as the back blunt.
So would that work on a move such as, say, a flashback? If you were to spin, do a whole spin and then spin again into the flashback, you would score the link?
You could potentially score the link as long as it's one fluid motion.
Okay.
So if you were basically to go spin, half spin, flashback, right? So on that, you're using the second spin to do the flashback. And you could see Rob Crow trying to set that up. You might be like, why does he just keep spinning? And the reason why is because you're looking to try and rack in those bonus points or those link bonuses.
And you would then be getting bonus points on the spin. The spin is worth 10 points, but you'd be getting bonus
Another
points
10
of
points.
another 10 points. And on that back blunt,
Yeah, so a back blunt, 70 points. I think the link bonus is maybe 20 or 30.
yep, so you're starting to rack up some serious points there.
It can be the difference. I mean, that link bonus right there can make or break you, because that's, roughly equivalent to almost a blunt.
Yeah.
So there we have our top 5 finishers in their order after this first preliminary round. Our next heat, we will have Roisuke Tamaji of Japan, Luke Pomeroy of Canada, Tom Dole of France, Eric Jackson of the United States, and Thomas Kaplinski of Poland.
Perfect. And we will be seeing you for that heat in around 15 minutes. So we're probably just going to take around a 5 to 10 minute break here, and we will be back to finish the competition.
Once again, a massive thank you to all of our sponsors helping this event happen here: Uptown Columbus, Whitewater Express, Beam, Synovus, the ICF, all those out there making, all the volunteers out there making this happen. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
As I strolled without a care, 'cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on, clap your hands and won't you sing along? And now let's take it up high, high, high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire, keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. From your head to your toes to your shoes, kick them off and take a deep breath and shake off the blues. This is a brand new day that you can pave the way, because everything is possible. Shout and say, hey, hey, I gotta go and on and keep it pushing up and on march and move along. And good things all around now that I can see, and they said it wouldn't happen to me. Yeah, yeah, so take your hands, throw them up, you put them up high, clap it up and dance it out until you're ready to fly. Turn the music, turn it up just a little too loud. If you're alone, dance just like it's a crowd. Keep it going every day till the night. From when you first see the sun until the stars show the light. No, not a care in the world, not a word from me. I tell you, this is what it's like to be free. So lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along? And now let's take it up high, high, high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire and keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning. Yeah, lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on and clap your hands and won't you sing along? And now let's take it up high, high, high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. You gotta keep the fire and keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning.
Greetings all. Hi, my name is Ed Wolverton. I'm president of Uptown Columbus, and on behalf of our board of directors, as well as the board of the Business Improvement District, I want to welcome everyone to the ICF World Cups. When we were first awarded these competitions in June of 2021, Uptown quickly convened a group of 30 civic leaders to help plan, fund, and organize these competitions. What you're seeing this week is part of that big effort to make this happen for our community. We had 3 major goals as part of putting this together. One was for the competitions to be an economic development engine for our entire region. Secondly, to make this an extravaganza that everyone can enjoy. And lastly, we wanted to be sure to attract more people to Columbus and Phoenix City to raft, zipline, and enjoy our community. We appreciate you coming here, and we look forward to a great competition. Thank you all.
Hi, this is Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 ICF International Kayak Competition. We are thrilled to have visitors join us from all over the globe. So if you're here competing or if you're here pulling for your favorite competitor, we hope you'll get an opportunity to enjoy some of the special things that make Columbus so unique. Welcome.
I'm Mayor Eddie Lowe of Positively Phoenix City, and we are so grateful that you have decided to join us here in Phoenix City as well as in Columbus, Georgia. We know without a shadow of a doubt that you will really have an enjoyable time that you've ever had. So thank you all so very, very much for joining us here in this wonderful regions of Positively Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia.
Hey everyone, I'm Helena Coates. I am the co-chair of our committee that we've put together to welcome the entire world to Columbus, Georgia. So we're excited to have you. We can't wait to watch you in the river, and we can't wait for you to experience our wonderful community. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Hey, I'm Dan Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are so excited to welcome you to Columbus and Phoenix City. We have what we think is the best whitewater in the world. We have the best athletes in the world coming together with that whitewater. I hope you have a great time at this event. We're so glad you're here.
Hey, I'm Daniel Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are thrilled to have you in town with us and excited to share this lovely section of whitewater with you today.
Hi, I'm Luce DeBears, and I'm honored to be a part of the host committee and invite you guys to Columbus and show you guys all we have to offer.
And we are back. We've got about 2 or 3 more minutes here before the start of our next heat. We are on the Chattahoochee River in Columbus, Georgia, and Phoenix City, Alabama. We are in the men's quarterfinal round. And next up, we are going to see Ryosuke Tamaji of Japan, Luke Pomeroy of Canada, Tom Dole of France, Eric Jackson of the United States, and Thomas Kaplinski of Poland. A fully international heat.
Absolutely. And these paddlers all come from a very big mix of particular styles of paddling. You know, Thomas from Poland, very much more of a hole paddler, I would say. EJ, tons of experience over the years. Tom DeLay from France.
And maybe one of the best all-around boaters
Absolutely.
currently in the world.
Luke Pomeroy, an absolute killer on stakeout and big waves.
Yep, known for those big waves of Canada. Also just big volume rivers in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryosuke, as well, of Japan, is no stranger to a decent wave with some lovely shoulders. So this is going to be a really varied and exciting heat, I think.
It is, and you know, it's just going to keep getting better for all of our 20 athletes are reverse seated from their finish yesterday. So we're going to be working our way towards the top of the leaderboard as we work our way through our, is it 4 quarterfinal heats? So lots still to come. I'm Anna Bruno.
I'm Jake Boswell.
And thank you guys here for joining us. I can see the clock and scoreboard starting to go there for Tamaji, and what we are waiting on is going to be the official thumbs up from the judges. I can see Tamaji spinning it around and warming up in the eddy on this Chattahoochee River. Jake, how are you finding the Chattahoochee? I just love saying the name of the river. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because I keep getting it wrong.
Let's hear it.
But Chattahoochee?
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah, perfect. It's glorious. It's like a swimming pool in there. It's perfect. The rapids are lovely. There's nothing too intimidating. I've not been over to cut bait yet on the other side of the river, but I might have to go for a little river run tomorrow. Maybe take a trashing. But this river is amazing.
It is. It's a fairly short stretch. That about 5 miles long, I want to say. I'm probably going to get that wrong, so please, someone that knows the right answer, put it out there. But so many rapids and features to play with. But right now, we are here on Good Wave. So Ryosuke Tamaji dropping in, starting it off with a huge air screw. Oh my goodness, right into a beautiful Pan Am. Maybe a blunt. He's starting that up so perfectly vertical. That was huge.
That is how you want to start off your first competition ride of quarterfinals for sure. Yeah. Nice back blunt there. And then going for another roundhouse blunt to the left.
Yeah. Tamaji, strong competitor. That was a beautiful back blunt, maybe a back Pan Am. He, at the 2018 World Cup in Sort, he was 9th. He was 3rd in C1 in San Juan, Argentina, and 6th in K1. So this is a paddler that is familiar with competition, and he is putting it on the line right here on Good Wave in this World Cup quarterfinal. What a strong first ride, tricks all the way up to the buzzer, and you can see that scoreboard just keep going up.
Absolutely. Ryosuke, they're really taking the briefing from the general chatter of all the paddlers at the moment that you have to keep throwing on every single pass that you get. Otherwise, you're going to get bogged down in the bottom of that pit and you're going to be stuck in a side surf. If you keep throwing, you will come back to the top of the feature and ready to go again. And he did not stop for that whole 45 seconds.
He did not. He says one of his favorite places to kayak is Tan Wave in Japan, which I will have to check out if it teaches you skills like this. And that his favorite food is rice. So, I mean, it seems to be working for him. Yeah. Maybe I should start eating more rice before my next competition.
I think I might need to too.
Yeah. So look at that huge back Pan Am. Absolutely slaying it here as the judges work to finalize this score.
Absolutely. Ryosuke went for one of those killer sort of drop-in air screws as he came in, which is one of my favorite things to see at the start of a ride. And it's really showing in his score there with a first ride of 683.33.
Yeah, so strong first ride score. Again, 3 rides, best 2 count. Next up, Luke Pomeroy.
So Luke is no stranger to big waves. He knows exactly what he's going to do here. He's going to go hard. Let's see what he's got.
Oh, trying for a nice side kick. Maybe trying to get some trophy moves on the scoreboard. We'll see what the judges have to say about that before going right into a massive air screw. Luke says here, and his best achievement is Kayak Session Magazine's World's Most Attractive Kayaker 2022 results still pending. Well, Luke, we'll put you in there. Oh, look at that beautiful back, clean back blunt flashback right into a Pan Am. Luke, really talented kayaker here, just showing his comfort on this good wave feature as he looks to rack up point to point to point. Really stylish kayaker, and you can just see that those elbows up as he goes to throw, pinkies up on that clean blunt, maybe a clean roundhouse, as Luke looks to rack those scores up to the top of the leaderboard. It says here he's also a kayaker by day, a door dasher by night, and he also works for the infamous Keener program on the Ottawa River, coaching the youth. So I always love when you see kayakers kind of giving back to that next generation. Luke was also a Keener, so really cool for him to get to hone those skills in the Ottawa River, and then return there and coach as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I met Luke when I think maybe he was 15, 16 on the Hairy Lemon in Uganda, and like he was just this kid who was up so early every day, ready to get on the river, and he was throwing down so hard. This kid was awesome to watch, and to see his progression onto these big waves and into all of these amazing kayak edits like the Wintering Grounds has been really good to see. He's got a really bright future ahead of him.
Absolutely agree. I was out here with Luke a little bit this winter as well as 2 winters ago, and he says here one of his favorite waves is Southern Fried Stakeout. That's a wave that actually comes in here on the Chattahoochee about 2 miles upstream of here, maybe not quite even that far, around flows of 60,000 CFS. So right now we've got around 8,500. So if you can picture this river with over 6 times as much water, that's when we get some really incredible world-class waves, and the type that Luke, I think, has, a really incredible level of comfort on. Yeah, I know, 60,000 CFS. So a CFS was once described to me as roughly the size of a chicken. And so imagine 60,000 chickens coming out of that dam all at once. Also basketball for those of you unfamiliar with chickens.
That sounds pretty messy to me. But anyway, we've got Tom DeLay coming in from France now in his lovely Jackson Rockstar 5, going straight for an air screw off the top. Lovely flashback into the back blunt there.
Right into a Pan Am. So Tom, out of Lyon, France, but having formerly lived here in Columbus, Georgia, so he is familiar with this wave, and I think he said he's just happy to be back competing on this feature, and he is just having fun out there on the wave. Tom competing in this Utz trophy race over in Utz, Austria just 2 weeks ago, before going to the paddle sports show in France to work immediately after that, and then right here into the Ambush and Good Wave World Championships, looking to get those flip turns and get some points on the board, maybe just struggling to get that helix around. Oh, there it is. Maybe just using those flip turns to set up for the feeling of the helix, somehow throwing it back over and saving that. Tom also competing in C1 earlier today.
Yeah, Tom's had a pretty busy few weeks, hasn't he?
I mean, just non-stop. And look at that air screw. Absolutely next level. Right into the back Pan Am.
He's going to want to get his name on the wall again. It's right down there on one of the pillars just down next to the wave. He's been pointing it out to as many people as he can as they walk by. 20...
Was it the...
17?
Uptown Columbus. Columbus puts on a big whitewater festival here every year. So
I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's definitely on the pillar for the bridge down there.
That's hilarious. I used to try and convince Tom to be my stunt double for kayaking. But unfortunately, I think I used to be, Tom, just mess up at least 2 moves and no one will ever know. But haven't convinced him to do it yet. Maybe next year. Score is still flashing as Tom looks to try to break into that 800-point mark. I don't know if he'll have it on this ride. 751.67.
Yeah, that's not bad going. Our next paddler needs no introduction. He's paddling his new project, which is the Apex Rebound kayak in the American flag colors and his classic checkerboard pattern on the back.
Yeah.
It's Eric Jackson.
EJ trademark right there out of Rock Island, Tennessee. So EJ, one of our older competitors out here on the water, but do not expect that to slow him down at all. Starting things off with the helix, followed up right by the other helix, going into the blunt, spinning it around backwards, trying for the back blunt and not quite getting that pass. There it is, making that happen. EJ, one of those paddlers that can really throw almost any trick from anywhere on the wave, going for a big back blunt the other direction, spinning it back around, going for the blunt, making sure he sells those angles. EJ also designing high-end fishing kayaks and looking to design boats for extreme slalom as well. So you can check him out with that Rebound website as he is just showing what that boat is capable of and why he designed it as he out here on ride number 1. That is time. There's the trademark EJ victory peace sign.
He's happy with that. That's a good start for EJ there with 620 points. That's going to bounce around a little bit whilst the judges take a look at it. But what a great start for EJ there.
Yeah.
There must be something in the water in Tennessee, I'm sure of it.
You know, EJ, a former Olympic slalom paddler, and I think one of the things that he does better than anyone is that he's incredibly competitive, right? And he's really good, however, at making that competition a game and still making it fun. You know, if you ever spend time with him, it's like everything is like, can I do this better than you? But always with a smile, always making sure that everyone's having a good time. You know, whether it's playing Pac-Man, don't ever try playing foosball with him. I mean, I am terrible. Ping pong, disc golf. He is just really good at finding ways to bring training and bring competition into everything he does. And I think that competitive mindset really shows in that comfort in knowing how to push yourself and how to be uncomfortable. I mean, children, Dane and Emily certainly had to learn it from somewhere.
Absolutely. One of the most confident families in the paddle sports scene for sure.
Yeah. So also youngest son Casey out there paddling a lot more these days, and I know the family goal is to get Casey on the Zambezi River before it's flooded, so one of the Jackson family's favorite places. So Eric coming in with a 533.33, so a little bit lower than we first saw that score bouncing at, but still strong starting score for EJ.
All right, so our next paddler is Thomas Czaplicki from Poland. Thomas did very well in the last event, going huge with a lot of hole moves. But now we're on a big wave here, so we're going to have to see what Thomas has got for us.
Thomas, a really explosive paddler, showing that off right off the bat there with that big, lofty air screw. He's got kind of a slower rotating style on those air screws, but they go huge, going for the back Pan Am, spinning it around. Back tricks are typically worth more points than front tricks because the initiation is harder as you can't see. And so you'll see a lot of paddlers going for those back tricks first because they are worth more. So Thomas ticking off the score sheet, back blunts, regular blunts, air screws, trying for the flip turn, going maybe for that helix, but working his way now back out of the foam into the bigger zone as he goes for that blunt McNasty right on the buzzer. We'll see if that was in time and if that will count.
Yeah, absolutely. These angles in an ICF freestyle competition need to be absolutely perfect. These judges are not easygoing. They're looking for the best tricks by the best paddlers to come up with the best finals ride. It's even across the board. So you have to be throwing your tricks perfectly in order to rise right up that table.
I know. Tomas also looking to get those bonuses, maybe a huge bonus on that air screw. Going for the air screw the other way, landing a little bit wide, but still pulling it straight. You can see him really just fighting as he fights the foam there, getting tumbled, but yet somehow pulling that out for the flip turn. So going for that roundhouse, linking it right up into the McNasty, maybe getting air on that. We'll see if the judges choose to reward that trick. It's hard to see as this boat was never fully clear of the foam. So 721.67.
It's a good start for Thomas. I think he'll be happy with that, but
we're seeing a lot of rides in the 700s, and I really do think it's going to take high sevens or rides over 800 to break into that top 10.
yeah, this is going to be a very, very tight cut for semifinals.
Next up, we are back to the top of our heat order with Tamaji. Oh my goodness, starting things off with an air screw and unfortunately flushing right away.
Yeah, that's brutal on that left-hand surfer's shoulder. It's really flushy there. Rozuki just coming in a little bit far to the left and catching an edge. So he's probably going to drop run number 2 and hopefully come back with a solid third ride. Of course, we're taking the best of 3 rides here. So 2 out of 3 is what we're going to combine to try and take our paddlers through to the next round.
That's right. Top 10 will be competing in semifinals tomorrow morning before the finals will kick off tomorrow night around 6 p.m. here in Columbus, Georgia, and Phoenix City, Alabama. So it has been just a massive week for competitors. Ambush World Cup earlier this week, Squirt Boat Championships on Wednesday, I believe, and here we are, Saturday, preliminary round. Stands are filling up. I can hear the cheers as Luke Pomeroy drops in for ride number 2. Luke loves that sidekick, eh?
Lovely sidekick there. He was careful not to over-rotate that into an air screw. You don't want to get too many points straight away.
Yeah.
That's lovely paddling style from Luke and epic control. There's the air screw to the left.
Yep, nice and lofty. I once saw Luke get auto-ejected out of his boat on an air screw. He landed so hard his deck popped, and he then fell out of the wave. Oh my God, amazing. Another beautiful air screw from Luke. Little bit low on the blunt angle there. Nice back blunt to spin it around. Going right for the helix. That was huge. Oh, that's the style of tricks we want to see. Going for the blunt into the McNasty. Does he score it? That's been one of his goals for this competition, is to land a blunt nasty in competition. He was working on them up on push button on the Ottawa, a much smaller feature. And so that looked, he's getting closer. I don't know if that will count on this one, but look at that air screw, that amplitude.
Yeah, Luke really playing with that shoulder there on the surface right-hand side. Really big green, steep water. So chances of flushing are a little bit higher, but he's getting really big air over there. So it's a really solid ride from Luke.
Yeah, I think Luke's so comfortable on those big waves. He wants to find the greenest part of the wave, the steepest part of the wave, and that is where he is most comfortable. Look at how much power he puts into that as he just brings that boat dead flat down. You can just see the water rejected off of his hull. I think, again, Luke, one of the nicest humans you'll ever meet. Him and partner Savannah spending lots of time out here, and I think this is like about as aggressive and mean as you'll ever see Luke be, is the way he treats this wave. But always a smile on his face, always willing to help people out. He says his life ambition, or his ambition in this competition, is to crush Mason Hargrove's dreams. He joined the, I think there's that's, which I thought was pretty funny, but shows the love and the competitive spirit.
The love and the camaraderie between the scene.
Yeah.
Around here, yeah.
Next up, Tom Dole out of France. Tom recently trying to train up and join the French slalom team, changing it up a little bit. So not as much time in a freestyle boat of late, but still just one of the world's, I think, best all-around paddlers. So huge blunt, nice big back blunt, and unfortunately catching that bubble off the back of the wave. You can just see them ride that surge and almost just get elevator ejected out.
Yeah, when this wave surges, it can dump you from the white water to the green water very quickly, and it's almost a drop of can be around 1 to 2 feet, it feels like. It's not good for your back, so it's a really hard hitting feature to paddle.
Luckily though, they've really gone all out here to help the athletes out. There's even a chiropractic tent, Mo Flow, down on the river walkway there, where the athletes can get free chiropractic adjustments, maybe a bit of massage, so keeping everyone in top form. So those guys coming out from the Ocoee River just to be here for this event. So pretty
much
rad.
Needed.
Much needed after this wave, let me tell you. So next up, EJ dropping in. A man who shows no weakness. Trying to start things off with that flip turn. We saw him start his last ride with both helixes, and he'll be looking to kind of find that flow again. Nice big air blunt, right into a back blunt. Not wasting that pass, setting up backwards. Huge back Pan Am the other direction. That was a beautiful trick.
That was really nice from EJ in this boat. A lovely custom color combination on there as well.
Yeah.
He's going to keep throwing moves. He's really not showing his age in this competition. He's throwing down just as hard as everyone else.
Yeah. Going for every trick on the score sheet pretty much as he goes for those helixes, the blunts, the back blunts, the trying for the over vertical Pan Ams. So maybe a slightly lower ride score, but really still, I think, a strong ride with some beautiful tricks from EJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I think it's hard to know if there's anyone out there that's had quite the same impact or legacy on the sport of whitewater kayaking as EJ currently. That is also, you know, still out there competing. So EJ, founder of Jackson Kayaks, I think really did so much to bring youth and kids into the sport. And I would really like to credit, you know, EJ and his vision for one of the reasons why we're seeing such a strong influx of junior paddlers and why the sport has kept growing and kept developing. So he's certainly not alone in that, but I think has had just really had a big part to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his drive to get his kids, Emily and Dane, and then Casey, into the sport has also got more people into it. Certainly, I joined the sport around the same time as Emily and Dane, and it was, you kind of wanted to be a part of that and grow as those guys did. So EJ is a big part of this community.
Designing boats for kids, and really recognizing that it's a sport that the whole family can enjoy. But now, out of Poland, Tomasz Kaplinski. So big first ride from Tomasz, which he will be looking to repeat, starting things off with a Pan Am and then catching that bow edge and unfortunately flushing off. Most paddlers, I reckon, come in with some semblance of a ride plan. You know, they've got a list in their head of the tricks and the order they want to complete them in, but because this wave is so dynamic, you have to be willing to adapt. And you saw Tomasz taking the risk there of changing his ride up, not starting with the air screw, starting with the Pan Am, and unfortunately just catching his bow. Oof.
Yeah, it's a big risk to mix it up, and you know, maybe you just need 4 of these high-scoring moves to make it through to the next round, but also those high-scoring moves are the bigger risk.
It's true. It is true. So, you know, to give the athletes time to recover and to keep things fair, even if an athlete flushes early, they will continue to run the clock for the duration of that 45 seconds. So next up, Ryosuke Tamaji. After an early flush in his last ride, this is his 3rd and final ride here in Heat 2 of the men's quarterfinals. What has he got for us? Hopefully another one of those massive air screws we saw in ride 1.
Yeah, Ryosuke came out with a really good start and had an unfortunate flush on the second run. So if he can match his first run, it might put him right up on that table. Struggling a little bit with his pass to get the perfect pop to throw his moves. Looking for an air screw there, maybe a Pan Am, maybe a donkey flip. Again, it comes down to what the judges think.
That's
throwing
right.
a couple of moves there. He's going to want to get up to around a 450, 500 point ride, I would expect. But he's just come off the back.
Ugh, heartbreaking. You know, again, a C1 paddler, K1 paddler. Tamaji here started kayaking in a university kayak club, which I think is really fantastic and a great way for a lot of people who start to get introduced to the sport, and for him to take it to this international level here, competing in San Juan, Argentina, competing at Nottingham in the World Championships, and I'm assuming he would like to make an appearance here next year at the 2023 World Championships. So Tamaji's first ride, third, I can count to 3, third ride score, definitely better than 0 points from round 2, so that will bring him up to 805 points combined, which we will see. I do not think will be enough to bring him into that top 10. But right now, Luke Pomeroy out of Canada, starting things off with that routine, going for the side kick. Just really showcasing his style as he goes for a big air screw, maybe a Pan Am. That was a slowly rotating. There's the other air screw, but still landing dead straight. So Luke just consistent and dialing it in, going for a back blunt. A huge Pan Am to the left, right off that shoulder. That was a beautiful trick. Luke back blunting, just putting those points on the board, catching his breath. What's going to come next? Ooh, a clean roundhouse. Is he going to go for a helix or a blunt nasty with the last 5 seconds he's got here? I know we're going to see something from him. Oh my gosh. Come on, Luke. 1 more second, and that's unfortunate. I think I jinxed him. I am sorry. Luke, I apologize.
Maybe you did, Anna.
I really apologize.
I was hoping for that blunt McNasty, I must admit.
Yeah.
But it looks like Luke is doing quite well here and hopefully going to progress through to the next round.
Yeah.
Until we start to get through the next heat, we're not really going to know where that bubble position sits at.
No, and I know that right now, Gav Barker and Rob Crow will be holding their breath. Oh, because Luke has just bumped Rob out of that number 2 spot. So that means that even though they have the same score, one of Luke's ride scores was higher than Rob. So that's how we determine tiebreakers here in the ICF. So Luke moving into that number 2 spot, which is not a bad place to be. Is it number 2 or the number 1 spot there? Number 2. Tom Dole of France dropping in ride number 3, an early flush on that last ride. What has he got for us? Nice air screw to start things off. Boom. Oh, beautiful Pan Am. Right into the back Pan Am. I don't think getting the link bonus on those tricks. There was a pause between them, but still moving trick to trick as he goes back blunt to back blunt. Trying to just tick down that score sheet. Boom, nice Pan Am the other direction. I just like the sound effects that I imagine happening on the wave right now. I do apologize for that as he tries for a flip turn, maybe trying to bring the helix around. Tom using borrowed paddles out there. He wasn't able to fly his own paddles over from France. And I think every round I've seen him use a different paddle, which is really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not going to be familiar for him at all. He stayed on the wave for the whole time of that ride there, sitting at currently 556.67.
So maybe a little bit lower than he was hoping for. And I'm not sure if that will bring him through into the next round. We'll have to see where it combines with his earlier ride scores. But Tom also out there competing in the C1 class earlier today. And I believe we will see him through to the next round of C1.
Yeah, absolutely.
A former C1 world champion, I believe. Also a silver medalist, a former junior world champion. So just a very well-rounded athlete. And that's not even talking about the slalom racing that he's trying to do, as well as his downriver and creek boating and extreme racing. So Tom sitting 751 with 566, so 1318.34. That should break him into the top 5, but I don't think it's going to be enough to put him in one of those top 1 or 2 spots.
Okay, Eric Jackson dropping in for his 3rd and final ride of this quarterfinals. Let's see what he's got for us. Just setting up on the shoulder, bouncing around a little bit in that carbon fiber kayak.
That's right, the apex rebound of his own design. Viking rune for the Norse rune for victory on the side there, and he is no stranger to victory. Multiple world champion, fantastic competitor, as he retains the feature after that first helix attempt right into a blunt to the other direction with the back blunt as a follow-up. The 1, 2, 3 combo, and an unfortunate early flush for EJ.
He knew as soon as he threw that move that he was already off the back. His hand was coming out. That peace symbol from EJ there was coming up before it even completed the move. That's an example of someone who knows exactly where they are on a wave and exactly what's going on.
That's right. Yeah, he knew, and he still claimed it. And I think that's the competitive spirit we want to see out here, just that positivity and that recognition that, you know, all today really determines is who paddled the best today. It doesn't define you or your paddling overall, and I think that that attitude and that positivity and stoke is just infectious.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
our last competitor of this quarterfinals heat here is Thomas from Poland. Thomas is going to come out hard. I think his best run so far is a 5.33 for run 1. He's going to want to at least equal that now as he comes into run 3 if he wants a chance of getting into that semi-final.
That's right. Tomas and partner Zosha also out here competing, starting things off with a huge air screw. Tomas running coaching out of Poland as well. So teaching kayaking in his spare time, frequently living in a van. These guys have made kind of kayaking their life, and it shows. Big blunt there. Going to match it up with that back blunt. Tomas really showing his skill as he adapts to this wave, despite not having spent a lot of time surfing this before. Nice helix there. Working his way over to the surfer's right shoulder, looking for some of those bigger passes. Tomas having thrown the wave or the blunt McNasty on almost every ride, and you can see him trying to set it up there, but maybe switching it out, going for the roundhouse, into a back blunt, into an air screw on the buzzer. Strong ride from Tomas, followed up with a beautiful clean air blunt just for fun.
Yeah, so that was a nice improvement for Thomas there on some of his rides. Will it be enough? We'll just have to wait and see. We still have another 2 heats to go with some very, very big paddlers coming up. So it's going to be close, but we'll start to get an idea as we get through the next heat.
That's right. So as we wait for Tomas's score to finalize here and see where he sits before we read you who will be in our next heat, that will be kicking off at 5 p.m. So nice to give the judges and us and your ears a bit of a break here, so you can, grab a beverage, take a stretch, maybe get outside and enjoy some sunshine. So Tomas' ride score still not finalized, but it is climbing. So currently sitting in the 8th place position. Before this score finalizes, 473.33, and where will that place him? That will place him in 5th place right now. So he knows, however, that there are, as you said, Jake, 10 more paddlers still to come. Who are we going to see in the next heat?
Yeah, so our next heat, which is heat 3 of 4 for these men's quarterfinals, we are going to have the one and only Stephen Wright for the from the USA, David McClure from Ireland, Alan Ward from Great Britain, our silver medalist from World Cup 1, Visa Ricola from Finland, and number 5 in this heat we're going to have Caleb Grady from Canada.
Yeah, that is a stacked heat.
Stacked heat.
Yeah, we are here in Columbus, Georgia, and Phoenix City, Alabama, on the Chattahoochee River with some of the best kayakers, the best wave boaters in the world for the men's quarterfinal. We're just finished up heat number 2. We will be back at 5 p.m. to kick off heat number 3.
Hi, I'm Katie. I worked on the host committee, and welcome to Columbus and Phoenix City, one of the South's best kept secrets.
Hey, I'm Robert Watkins. On behalf of the Georgia Power Company, we want to welcome you to Columbus.
I'm Mary Sherman, Executive Director of the Columbus Sports Council. We are thrilled to welcome you to this amazing place that we are fortunate to call home. We hope you have a wonderful experience here in our community and hope you come back often.
Hey, I'm Justin Krieg from the Historic Columbus Foundation and a part of the ICF host committee. We're so excited to have you all here with us in Columbus, Georgia. We hope you have a great time.
Hi, I'm Betsy Covington. I'm on the host committee and I'm the president of the Community Foundation here. We are so glad to welcome you to this community. When you are here, you are family, and welcome to the group. Thanks.
Hey everybody, Dennis Beeson, Chamber of Commerce of East Alabama. We want to welcome you to the Chattahoochee Valley.
back. We are here at the 2022 Columbus World Cup. We are in the men's quarterfinals where we will be starting things off with heat number 3. So we've had 2 heats to go. We're 2 minutes away from heat number 3. I'm Anna Bruno.
I'm Jake Boswell.
And we are stoked to be here on the beautiful Chattahoochee River. Jake, who do we have in this next heat?
Yeah, so this is a fully stacked heat with some serious big wave paddlers and people with a ton of experience of international freestyle paddling. We've got ICF medalists and Whitewater Award winners. This is going to be a really epic heat. So we've got Stephen Wright from the US, we've got Dave McClure from Ireland, Alan Ward from Great Britain, Visa Ricola from Finland, and Caleb Grady from Canada.
So this might be our second or third heat in a row where every single paddler is from a different country. So a really international event, an international showing here in Columbus. So Stephen Wright, known by some as the mayor of Whitewater Express here, or the parking lots, will be starting things off in that classic blue and yellow. So Stephen, known by some as the Hobbit King, known for huge explosive moves. Oh my goodness, almost catching the flush and somehow saving it right into a huge air screw. Oh, that hurts.
That is not a good start for Stephen Wright there.
No.
So, if you haven't caught up with us before, in this third heat of the men's quarterfinals, they have 3 rides, with the best 2 rides being combined to get their score. So Stephen has not scored a single point, unfortunately, on that first run.
So you might have seen that air screw, but unfortunately, you need to have landed the trick in control before flushing for the judges to score it. That's to the judges' discretion, not up to us. So that is an unfortunate start to Stephen, but as you said, 2 more rides still to go.
That's right, Anna. Yeah, we can only commentate on what we see here from this angle and from our screens, but it is ultimately down to the judges to decide what scores and what doesn't.
Yeah, it is tough being a competitor here. You have to really constantly gamble with how big do I go versus how much control do I need to stay on for this flushy feature, because we've got 20 paddlers here all fighting for those top 10 spots.
That's right. So now David McClure from Ireland dropping in. This guy wants a medal. He's opening up with an air screw there. Air screw the other way. He's coming out hard here. Clean blunt to the right with air. Let's see what the judges think. Maybe looking for a roundhouse to the left. I'm not sure a roundhouse is going to be on his list of tricks that he wants to score personally.
He's trying for the clean, but not quite getting the rotation on that. So Dave McClure, former European champion, current European champion?
Current European champion and number 5 in the World Championships, I believe.
Yeah, so really, again, a talented hole boater bringing these skills to the good wave here in the Chattahoochee River. So Dave flushing early, but still putting down a solid 470 points in about 20 seconds. Look at that beautiful clean blunt, keeping the paddle nice and high, pinkies up, as he goes to initiate that trick using just his core rotation. Trying for it the other direction, but not quite getting the either the lift or the rotation he needed.
That's right. David, although normally classed as a hole boater, has been training over January and February in this last year in Galicia, in Spain, I think.
Yeah,
Spain,
I think it's
Portugal.
Spain, Portugal, right on that border
yeah,
there.
on a wave there, racking up double air screws. So he still knows what he's doing on a wave. But now we're going to see Alan Ward from Great Britain drop in.
Longtime GB team member. Alan jokingly only comes out for team these days when the feature is on a wave, so we are stoked to see him back out here on Good Wave. Alan, no stranger to wave boating, starting things off with 2 air screws. Second one, absolutely beautiful, right into a Pan Am. Going for a Pan Am the other direction. Really strong, explosive paddlers. He moves move to move, going for that back blunt. Alan training up on the Hurley lock and weir. Some might not consider it a wave, but I think Alan certainly would, and he is showing that he has learned every trick he can there. That was a beautiful flashback, coming right into the clean blunt, maybe a Pan Am, but unfortunately catching the bow on the landing, a little bit of that lawn dart action as he flushes off.
Yeah, that's not a bad start from Alan there. He is well rehearsed in terms of his wave boating. He's not a fan of holes, really. He's quite open about that.
You know, it is really different. And so as such, you are getting a different, I wouldn't say caliber of athletes because the caliber is the same, but you know, you are seeing some slightly different faces here at the World Cup than you would at the World Championship in Nottingham this past July. Allen, score of 740 points. Look at that Pan Am, absolutely huge. Just what a beautiful trick, followed right up by a nice and vertical back blunt.
Yeah, that was a good start from Allen. He's going to want to easily match that again and maybe improve on it. But next we've got Visa Ricola from Finland. Very used to paddling waves, and he was our silver medalist for World Cup 1 up at Ambush.
I think Visa's surprising a few people with his strong showing on Ambush, and now he has proved that he is someone to watch. So 2 Pan Ams right off the bat. So looking again to try and get that spin into the flashback, going right again to kind of get more angle or more verticality on that move. He goes back and repeats it a second time. Big Pan Am to the right, maybe looking to clean it, but not quite getting his paddle out of the water, trying for the air screw.
Yeah, Visa is someone who maybe hasn't quite been on everyone's radar for a while. He's just coming off the back there, unfortunately. But Visa is well deserved to be up in this quarterfinals and challenging for finals again. He's been on the scene for quite a while now and maybe hasn't had the best luck in the past, but he's certainly a paddler that deserves to be right up there.
I completely agree, and you know, he's someone that you've seen training hard, pushing his skills both at HPP in Nottingham as well as on his home waves in Finland. I was joking with him yesterday. I said, how is it paddling the warm waters here? Because this water temperature has to be close to, I don't know, 20 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees, maybe warmer?
I've been swimming in this river.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got to be swimming pool. It's got to be 26, 27, 28 degrees.
Yeah, almost 75, 80 degrees of just bath water here, and that is certainly different than the icy waves of Finland where he is used to paddling.
Yeah, I'm not sure paddling in the Arctic Circle in October, November is going to be the warmest experience of your life.
No, so Visa starting things off with a 368.33. We know he's going to be looking to bring that ride score up significantly, but still nice to get a warm-up ride here in this quarterfinal round. I know Visa also working with Den Newton of Sweetwater Coaching, part of that ASP program, getting some, hopefully, I think some virtual help, some real-time coaching as well. And Den spending a lot of time up in Finland, and we're seeing that team really, I think, come on and make a statement. But now, the team that most people think of when they think of big wave boating, Canada, Caleb Grady out of Westmeath, Ontario. Caleb, I apologize. I said you were from Beachburg yesterday. I do know better. I know. So Caleb starting things off with an air screw, going into the blunt, going right into his kind of trademark little clean blunt there. I say little, that was diminutive. That was the wrong thing to say, but he just does them so easily. Clean blunt the other direction, nice and vertical. Going for the air screw to the left. Spinning it around for the flashback, keeping the paddles nice and high and clean as he brings his boat into that back blunt. Pan Am to the left. Caleb just getting kind of bounced around there, but still maybe able to take a pass out of it, pulling off the helix right into the other Pan Am, catching his edge on a tumble, but right on the buzzer, bringing him into the 800-point mark as he just ticks off that score sheet. So, wow,
That's
great ride.
A big first ride from Caleb. If he can match that, that would put him up into the top position right now. Caleb, one of the nicest people you'll meet in kayaking. He's so excited for it. He's all about bringing on the future of kayaking with the Whitewater Academy School. He's a really nice guy, and it's really great to see him throw down a nice first ride here.
Yeah, that's right, Caleb, part of World Class Academy where he was the head coach. He was the program director. He is now in a new role as head of school, so he is working on the logistics and the recruitment aspect of World Class Academy. And then he's also out here with a team of students, coaching them and bringing them up in their competitions as well as competing. So Caleb also a keener coach on the Ottawa River where he himself kind of got his start. Really a talented all-around paddler, more than just big wave boating, you know, steep creeking, extreme racing. Caleb has really been working hard to establish himself as one of the preeminent names in whitewater kayaking and is really up there. You know, Team Send with Dane Jackson, Brent Orton, Adrian Mattern, travels to the Zambezi River and just all around the world, and just such a consistent paddler. 866.67 So that might be our highest single ride score yet today. And Caleb is going to be pleased with that and looking to match it or even bump it up. I know he is also looking to try and break that 1,000-point barrier.
Yeah, that's really going to set the bar. And if we don't sit in this heat, I'm pretty sure we might see it in the next. And Stephen Wright is one of those people that's going to want to be doing that. He's no stranger to this wave again. He is a resident of the Wintering Grounds, the trailer park just next to Whitewater Express here over the winter, training on loads of waves. But just now he's flushed again. That is not what Stephen's going to want. So he's going to have to pull everything out for his last ride to make it through. It's absolutely possible of Stephen to throw down a huge ride, but the pressure is on.
The pressure is on, and that is just absolutely gutting. We'll see, because he's flushing as he finishes that trick, are they going to give it to him? Stephen's mom and dad and partner Rachel out here, as well as Dog Puppy, who is a local hero. And I know that I think everyone just wants to see Stephen do well, paddle well. I think he has every ability to be in that top 5. He's got every trick on the score sheet. He knows this wave so well, and it's just, ooh, that hurts. That really hurts. But it just goes to show that is what happens here in competition.
Absolutely, and when it comes to a feature like this, it's sometimes maybe you need to have a little bit of luck,
or you get a little bit unlucky.
Or you get unlucky, exactly.
Yeah, and I think even seasoned competitors, you balance the nerves. You're struggling to figure out just how to read and respond, and maybe you're just a little bit tense, a little bit off. The pressure is on, and that can make a big difference. But right now, no stranger to pressure, no stranger to ICF finals, David McClure. So starting it off with a big air screw to the left. Going for, ooh, goodness. Trying, looks like, for the air screw the other way, but catching his edge, still retaining his control and focus. David going for maybe a clean blunt, maybe a Pan Am, and then catching that flush bubble. You can just see the water surging through the middle of the wave there. There are few safe places. And again, as paddlers really look to push to break into that top 10 or maintain their spot in the top 10, it's a gamble, isn't it? I think we could see our top 10 really changing up here after this quarterfinal round today.
Absolutely. Already we're seeing our prelims almost going in reverse, with Gavin Barker, who was sat right up there in, I think, 17th or 18th place after prelims, is still sat up there in first place. Next we're going to have Alan Ward from Great Britain. Loves his wave paddling, has spent a lot of time on the White Nile in Uganda. He knows what he's got to do. He's going to want to throw down.
That's right. Alan making the journey out here, not getting a ton of practice time like all the other athletes, but really just showing that when you've spent time on other waves around the world, whether that's Hurley, whether that's Uganda and the Nile Special, that wave expertise just shows a big Pan Am to start things off, looking to back it up, retaining the control, choosing not to throw off that pass. Rather, after seeing 2 competitors flush right in front of them, he's like, I'm going to keep it safe, play it safe, and go for that air screw. Air screw the other direction, landing forwards. Oh no, he is surfed into that corner feature where you do not actually score points. Can he make it back over? And unfortunately, an early flush for Alan. Can you feel my stress? I feel like I'm stressed for them. I don't know what's harder, watching or paddling. I think watching.
I think the stress is everyone in this top 20 can throw down huge moves. They've pretty much got the trick book, and they know they can do it, but this is a big wave. This is a powerful feature, and one slight drop of the edge is going to cost them dramatically, and that's what's happened for Alan now. It's pushed him into that hole. Once you get into that hole, there's no coming back from there.
It's true, and as you said, though, 3 rides, 2 count, so athletes do get a dropped ride, which is a nice place to be. Jake, I see you pulling up the live feed scores here, which you can find on that Planet Canoe website as we try and check what is our current top 20, but we'll get back to that, or top 10, excuse me, because right now Visa from Finland dropping into the wave. So Visa starting things off with a big blunt, probably a Pan Am on that as he brings the boat over vertical. going for a back blunt, nice and vertical, retaining the feature, going for the blunt, looking like he was trying to McNasty out of that, not quite getting it, going for that spin into the roundhouse, maybe the blunt, and then right into the clean blunt. I'm struggling to keep up with Visa as he just throws pass to pass, flashback the other direction, and then unfortunately flushing off the wave. So, you can just see Visa taking every pass he can, trying to rack up the points, little tricks, also mixed in with big tricks, and just staying constantly moving on this feature. Boom, Pan Am starting it off right there at the start. Love that replay. Jake, what is the score to beat to break into the top 10?
So currently, Sheehan from the US is sat on the bubble in 10th place with an 801.67 combined score.
So to break into the top 10, paddlers must have higher than an 801 combined. So Visa coming in with a 400-point ride so far. As the scores keep climbing, we'll see where that puts him. So this second ride here is going to be the one where we start to see that top 10 really change up as paddlers' ride scores combine.
That's right, and remember we still have a whole nother heat to go of another 5 paddlers, and that is our highest ranking paddlers from the prelims, which consists of Bartosz Chalderna from Poland, Harry Price from Great Britain, Mason Hargrove from the US, Nick Troutman from Canada, and Dane Jackson from the US.
Yeah, lots of big names right there. A few, I wouldn't say surprises, but really just strong paddlers in our, just still here to come. So Visa's score unfortunately dropping out of the 400-point range. That is not what you want to see. Fortunately, he's still paddling back up the island. So I think the nice thing about this feature is athletes are spared the stress of watching the scoreboard flash in front of you as the judges deliberate. But you know, you do get the chance, a lot of them do come back, watch this live feed to learn from their rides and say, hey, what did I score, what did I not score, and why didn't that happen? It is one of the advantages of having the live score up on the screen here. You can kind of stop, pause the live feed and say, what did I score, what did I not? So Visa's score jumping right back up there by about 70 points. It looks like they're deliberating, you know, was that a back blunt? Was that a back Pan Am? Was it a front blunt? Every trick here has a pre-established point value as well as point values on bonuses. I don't recommend memorizing the score sheet, but it is useful. So Visa 431.67, 800 points will put him just shy. By how many points? By 1.67 points of that top 10 position. So every point absolutely matters.
And that is an exact tie with David McClure right now for 11th and 12th. But
stressful.
Next, Caleb Grady from Canada coming in. He's currently sat in 7th. He might want to improve that, knowing that there's another 5 top paddlers coming up next.
That's right. You need to be in that top 5 to feel safe. So Caleb starting things off with an 800-point ride, which he's looking to repeat here as he goes air screw, clean, blunt, perfection. What is next? Caleb, just really technical paddler, taking the time to improve clean blunt the other way. I've seen him put this ride together on many a wave feature, from mostly on Garburator. Also seen Caleb paddle on some of the biggest waves in Canada during the stakeout season. So he is no stranger to big wave boating. Beautiful helix as he works to stay forward. Helix the other direction. Moving right into a Pan Am. Boom. Backing it up. I can hear the energy of the crowd as he goes for that huge back Pan Am on the buzzer and flushing. Did I call it? That point, oh my goodness, are we going to break the 1,000-point ride?
We're going to watch on the bottom left hand of your screen, there's a red number. It's currently set at 975. That's going to start to bounce around a little bit as the judges make up their minds as to what exact score Caleb is going to get. Will it go over 1,000 points?
He had it there for a second. I'm not sure. We're going to be looking to see. I would possibly huge that air screw. You know, and that's another 40 points, 50 points on a trick that's already worth 140 points. You know, sometimes you look at the score differences between the men and women's scores, and it's hard to understand why some people seem to be doing, or even the men's scores, come on, keep giving it some love, all of you watching, keep giving it that up sign as we see it climb over 1,000. But you might be wondering, why is it that some points are, the scores are so different when everyone is doing tricks? So 1,008.33 points. He is going to be absolutely stoked. The current Canadian national champion, That is the scores that he wants to have. That will put him right to the top of the leaderboard, and that will now change up our 10th place score to beat.
Yes, and even, I believe, potentially, maybe he's still not quite safe just yet because we've still got another 5 paddlers, but Caleb is looking like he's in a pretty good place right now.
He's where he wants to be, but now Stephen Wright dropping in. I really just want to see Stephen have the ride that we all know he is capable of. Starting things off with a back blunt, keeping it a little bit safer, changing up the ride plan as he goes right into that helix. He just owns that trick every time. It is just so consistent. It's a thing of beauty to watch. Spinning it around, going for a nice Pan Am, getting points on the board, spinning it around, keeping that control, keeping his paddle in the water, eyes constantly upstream as he looks to line it up for that next trip. Trying for an air screw, kind of dropping his bow, maybe getting a donkey flip if he wasn't quite aerial. Going for the helix the other direction. Still got 8 seconds left. What can he put together for us? How about a big pistol flip? Yes, Steven. That was awesome. Pistol flip the other direction. Please retain the feature. Still strong ride from Stephen Wright.
That was a really big ride there from Stephen. I think, sadly, he needed a few more moves there because of his first 2 rides. But still, Stephen really showing what he's got there.
I know. We just, he's so capable, so consistent, such a talented paddler, and someone that just is constantly giving back to those around him, coaching others, helping others. Basically, the mayor of the parking lots here in Columbus, Georgia. Just yesterday he was out fixing something on his truck in between rides while giving advice to other people, while walking his dog, one-wheeling around. So, scores are climbing, 740. That is significantly better than 600, 723, dropping back down. So I know we are all hoping to see Stephen have the highest ride score possible, 723.33. Will, I think, unfortunately, due to 2 double zeros, keep him out of our top 10. Absolutely gutting for Stephen, but look at that pistol flip. What a fun paddler to watch. And just to be around and hang out with.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed watching Stephen paddle.
Yeah.
For years. Now we've got David McClure from Ireland. He's currently sat in 11th. This is run 3 for him. He has to pull it out right now if he wants to make that final.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to break into the top 5 to earn himself a safety spot. Otherwise, nothing is secure. 2 air screws starting off right away. He is flirting with disaster, and that was disaster. Oh, David.
That was not what David wanted right there.
No, such a strong paddler, 253.33. I don't think that's going to be enough to move him into that top 10, but still showing so much talent. And I want to say, David, coaching with the Southeast Freestyle crew out in Galway and really doing so much to bring up the Irish and European paddling community.
Absolutely. I mean, Irish freestyle has absolutely exploded over the last 2-3 years through the challenges we've had with COVID and all the limitations. David has brought that community on to being one of the biggest freestyle teams we have in the world right now.
Yeah,
and that's all credit to him and some of the volunteers that work with him. And
Aoife Hanrahan and Barry.
Absolutely.
A really strong Irish freestyle community has really grown up in those last few years, and I'm glad to see David out here even when the others couldn't make it. So right now, Alan Ward starting it off with an air screw. I'm not sure where Alan is currently sitting, but he is going to want a strong ride here. He had about a 600 or 700 point ride in his first ride, flushing early on his second. So 2 air screws starting things off. He is currently in 7th, so he also is looking to break into that top 5 to earn himself a place of safety. Can he do it? So going for a blunt, an untypical move from Alan as he just catches his edge but still pulls it out. There's the Pan Am he was looking for. He is on the bubble. Come on, Alan, surf it back over here, spinning it around with a flashback as he works his way back over to the safe zone. Big Pan Am. He is just in that beauty pocket as he goes for a flip turn, maybe a helix, and that is time. That was a strong ride for Alan, and I believe that will bump him into, if not the top 5, the top 6. Gosh, I'm bad at math. Honestly, I think I should have paid more attention in school.
These scores aren't easy to add up, Hannah. Don't worry. Don't feel bad.
We do have 3 judges. And so when you see that .33 on the end of a score, it usually means that one judge awarded a trick. When you see that .67, it means that two judges awarded a trick. And that flat 0 means all three judges were in unanimous agreement. I did learn that much about fractions. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Ooh, ride score for Alan going up. Let's see what we have here. So Alan's dad, Tim Ward, a former GB team manager. Alan, longtime British team member. So he just has so much experience to put behind his wade surfing.
I believe Alan is a junior world champion.
I would not doubt it. Yeah, definitely, I think one of the, I might say stronger personalities. Very charismatic human.
I would say stronger personalities, yes. Louder?
Louder, yeah, but absolutely.
You certainly know when he's around.
You do, but so charismatic, huge smile, and just a lot of fun to be out on the water with. So
yeah,
I'm always thrilled when we see people return to the competitive scene. That's the fun of the World Cup. It's a little bit, 8:25 for Alan. Fantastic score. We are going to be 15:65. He has done it. He has put himself into a safer position.
Second place.
I think that's fairly safe because Visa could still knock him, could still break into that top 5 as well as, look, I think Caleb Grady's already there. But so, yeah, we still have Visa here to see, can he also break into this top 5 position?
Okay, so he's dropping down the wave there straight away. A big blunt to the left, maybe Pan Am. Big back Pan Am with loads of air. Oh, he's coming out hard.
That was huge.
Looking for a clean blunt, maybe a little bit dirty there, dragging the paddle. The judges are really hot on that here. Spinning around, setting up. He's in a nice place to go. Looking for an air screw.
Beautiful air screw.
Air screw the other way, maybe a donkey flip.
Yeah, you can see the bow kind of just drop on those offsides for people, if you will.
That's right, but it's still big points for a donkey flip here and lovely helix.
Yeah, that was absolute air underneath the boat, full air, going for that back Pan Am. Visa just knowing that he has nothing to hold back right now. Huge back Pan Am in the other direction, right into a spinning back blunt the other way.
This is a big ride from Visa here. Let's keep going.
That is a huge ride, using every second of his ride, almost every pass, throwing just non-stop. He is like, this was my moment. I know that I want to be in that final 5. I'm going to work my way into the final 10 first, and I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. Look at that back Pan Am. I mean, magnificent.
That's put a big smile on my face, that ride. That was really, really cool to watch.
Yeah, another paddler. I mean, you don't want to see anyone do poorly. Not that at all, but I think Visa, just so much fun to watch him come up in the scene in the last little bit, and just to see him showcase his skill with a ride like that is just what you want from these World Championships or from these World Cups.
Yeah, absolutely. Visa's one of the nicest people to meet and speak to in paddling. He conducts himself with absolute decorum. He's a lovely guy, and to see him starting to reap the rewards of his work is really lovely to see.
Yeah, could not agree more. Look at that big over vertical back blunt. Visa, ooh, I saw him flirting with the 1,000-point mark. 10:41. This is a big ride for Visa. Look at that, just incredible boat control as he just goes to bring the boat over edge. I feel like he was holding back in those early rides, trying to play it safe. And then he just said, you know what? This is not the time to play it safe. I'm putting it all on the line.
Well, I think we're having to take another look at the screen there, as that is our biggest ride of the day, I think. 11:58.
Yes. So we may have a new leader on top of this leaderboard here. Nope, not quite, but still sneaking into that second place position.
Caleb Grady with a big grin on his face there. He's not feeling bad that he's had his ride done there.
Well,
he's
still topping the leaderboard. So
he is, and he knows that it's getting difficult. And if he wants to challenge for the top spot in finals, it's going to be a really tight competition.
It is indeed. Caleb getting that, getting all the air out. Huge exhale, elbows up as he goes to start things off, looking for the air screw. Boom, air screw the other direction. There it is. Caleb's going to be looking to get every trick on the sheet here. Clean blunt to the right. Lining it up. Is he going to go clean blunt to the left? He is maybe a little bit low on that angle, not quite bringing the boat around, and so he goes back to repeat that trick, going for the back blunt. He knew that trick didn't quite feel right, didn't quite want it, What has he got here? Caleb with a big Pan Am to the left, spinning it around, working hard. You can see him dropping the edge as he tries to carve back into the river. Oh my goodness, right into a big Pan Am. I think he might have landed that just before flushing with about 7 seconds left. So not exactly his same ride as last time. A little bit of an early flush with that big Pan Am, but still strong showing from Caleb. I don't think that will change up his scores.
No, it doesn't look like it, Anna, but still, he's showing pure class there with some of his moves. It's very smooth.
Very smooth, and just so methodical, if you will. Just moving trick to trick to trick to trick. Caleb, our first paddler of the day in the men's class to break 1,000 points, and then immediately followed up by Visa. And so just the fun of this World Championship, or this World Cup event, is that you see the paddlers each pushing each other to be better. So right now, this is our top 10, and we still have 5 more paddlers to go. So currently sitting in first, Caleb Grady of Canada, followed by Visa Ricola, Alan Ward, Gav Barker, Luke Pomeroy, Rob Crow, Tom Dole, Tomas Chaplinsky, Eric Jackson, and Royosuke Tamaji. So with 5 paddlers still to come, we've got 1 more heat. Who is going to be in our next heat?
Okay, so this last heat is going to be a big one. It's going to kick off in around 15 minutes time.
We are running. We are so punctual.
It's really good, isn't it? It makes a change for freestyle. Right here. So our first paddler is going to be Bartosz Chałderna from Poland. He's everyone's favorite. He's always got the biggest smile.
Yeah.
He's going to throw down hard. He had a great start to this tournament. So we're going to see him first. Then we've got Harry Price from Great Britain. Harry can pull it out at all occasions, so we know we're going to see a lot from Harry, and it's going to be very exciting to watch. We've got one of the favourites of the competition, which is Mason Hargrove from the US, who is a resident of Columbus here, just down the road. Nicholas Troutman from Canada, again, leading the pack often from the prelims, who is certain to throw down on almost every single pass. And then number 1, bib number 1, Dane Jackson, current world champion from the US. Needs no introduction, really.
Not one. Not a single one.
No, he might be. He's kind of okay,
If you don't know who Dane Jackson is, well.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right,
I guess. He can roll.
You know it. So that's us here with 1 more heat to go in our men's quarterfinal of the 2022 ICF Canoe Freestyle World Cup. We are live from the Chattahoochee River, Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City. Massive thank you to all of our sponsors: Uptown Columbus, Whitewater Express, Sinova, Michelob Ultra, Beam, the ICF Freestyle Committee. I can't even read all of these logos on here, so you'll have to forgive me as I don't make my way through the full list, but we are stoked to be here, and we'll be back in roughly 15 minutes.
As I strolled without a care, 'cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on, clap your hands and won't you sing along?
Greetings all. Hi, my name is Ed Wolverton. I'm president of Uptown Columbus, and on behalf of our board of directors, as well as the board of the Business Improvement District, I want to welcome everyone to the ICF World Cups. When we were first awarded these competitions in June of 2021, Uptown quickly convened a group of 30 civic leaders to help plan, fund, and organize these competitions. What you're seeing this week is part of that big effort to make this happen for our community. We had three major goals as part of putting this together. One was for the competitions to be an economic development engine for our entire region. Secondly, to make this an extravaganza that everyone can enjoy. And lastly, we wanted to be sure to attract more people to Columbus and Phoenix City to raft, zipline, and enjoy our community. We appreciate you coming here, and we look forward to a great competition. Thank you all.
Hi, this is Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 ICF International Kayak Competition. We are thrilled to have visitors join us from all over the globe. So if you're here competing or if you're here pulling for your favorite competitor, we hope you'll get an opportunity to enjoy some of the special things that make Columbus so unique. Welcome.
I'm Mayor Eddie Lowe of Positively Phoenix City, and we are so grateful that you have decided to join us here in Phoenix City as well as in Columbus, Georgia. We know without a shadow of a doubt that you will really have an enjoyable time that you've ever had. So thank you all so very, very much for joining us here in this wonderful regions of Positively Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia.
Hey everyone, I'm Helena Coates. I am the co-chair of our committee that we've put together to welcome the entire world to Columbus, Georgia. So we're excited to have you. We can't wait to watch you in the river, and we can't wait for you to experience our wonderful community. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Dan Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are so excited to welcome you to Columbus and Phoenix City. We have what we think is the best whitewater in the world. We have the best athletes in the world coming together with that whitewater. I hope you have a great time at this event. We're so glad you're here.
Hey, I'm Daniel Gilbert with Whitewater Express. We are thrilled to have you in town with us and excited to share this lovely section of whitewater with you today.
Hi, I'm Lucy DeBears, and I'm honored to be a part of the host committee and invite you guys to Columbus and show you guys all we have to offer.
Hi, I'm Katie. I worked on the host committee, and welcome to Columbus and Phoenix City, one of the South's best kept secrets.
Bartosz coming in with another left blunt there. He's already racking up points to 306.67, looking for a backstab.
We do apologize here. We're starting things off just a little bit earlier than we expected to. But luckily, Bartosz was not bothered by that time as he goes right for a Pan Am after that helix. So we will give you a proper introduction to where we are and what's happening in just a minute. But for now, enjoy Bartosz Chowderna throwing down in our last final of the men's quarterfinal here at the ICF Columbus World Cup. Whoops!
Yeah,
So
that came out of nowhere. It's still just a couple of minutes early, but why not? The wave's ready. The
Jake,
paddlers are ready.
yeah, let's get things moving here.
We weren't quite ready.
We were
but
not ready. But you know what? We don't get the thumbs up from the judges, do we?
That is true. Me and Anna are sat about 40 feet above where the judges are.
Vertical feet.
Vertical feet, and another probably 50 meters to the right. So we're way out of the action here, but we have got a live stream in front of us where we can commentate from. That is completely up to date.
Yeah.
But Bartosz, anyway, with his first ride coming in nice and strong with a 566.67, which is potentially going to move around as the judges take a look at it.
That's right. So we are in quarterfinal heat number 4. Bartosz Chowderna, Harry Price, Mason Hargrove, Nicholas Troutman, and Dane Jackson. I never refer to him as Nicholas. Nick Troutman. Hi, Paula. That's Nick's mom. However, we are here. This is our final heat of quarterfinals. Our top 5 finishers from yesterday's preliminary round. 3 rides, 2 count, 20 paddlers cutting down 210, trying to make it into the semifinals. And right now, Harry Price of Great Britain out to earn his claim. So what is the combined ride score to beat to make it into the top 10 right now?
Let's take a quick look at that whilst Harry throws down.
Yeah, 2 air screws right off the bat, starting off. He didn't like one of them, so he went back and repeated it, getting even more amplitude. Points are going up quickly.
Yeah, for Harry to push into this semi-final spot, he's going to have to currently beat Ryozuki from Japan with 805 points.
And that's something that we can expect to see any one of these last heat paddlers do within just one ride score alone. Harry, 10 seconds left to go, already inching towards that 800-point mark. So big first ride from Harry with that helix. 2 seconds left. He's got one more trick for us. Oh, a huge Pan Am. What a ride from Harry Price. We're seeing the scores flirt with that 1,000-point mark. Will they stay there? You know, I have to say, we all know Harry is a very skilled paddler. We've seen him throw down in Nottingham. We've seen him throw down at Inlet Gate, at Twin Wave. But I do think that this is the first time a lot of people are seeing Harry really throw down in the K1 men's category on a wave. He was a medalist at the Carburetor World Championship as a junior. But I think people kind of forget, hey, Harry spent a bunch of time out at Lachine Rapids in Montreal. He spent time on the Ottawa. He spent the last 6 weeks out between here and Columbus and the Ottawa River, really honing these skills. And I think he's surprising quite a few people with not only his tricks, but his consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not to forget, I'm pretty sure Harry had a good amount of time on the Slave River as well last summer up in Canada, which is some real big
That's
water.
right. Yeah, Northwest Territories of Canada. Absolutely. So yeah, Harry really putting a brilliant ride together here for his first ride. Harry, our second of 5 paddlers here in this final heat. Look at that. Boom. Huge Pan Am. And I think just sticking it before he flushed off into that secondary feature. So Scores are still being calculated, but I think they're settling in 1,043.33 points. With that single ride score alone, Harry has now broken into the top 10.
Yeah, that's an epic first ride for Harry Price.
Epic first ride. But with Mason Hargrove, Nick Troutman, and Dane Jackson still to come, that top 10 spot may not be fully secure. So Mason Hargrove, hometown hero, paddling out onto the wave. You can hear the cheers from here. You can probably hear them in Phoenix City, to be honest.
Yeah, you certainly can. I don't know about you, Anna, but I've been staying in the guide house just over the river in Phoenix City, and every morning we can hear the competition kicking off over there, much to Dave McClure's dismay.
Well, they should be cheering because this is hometown hero Mason Hargrove and our current ambush world champion, and he is showing why he took that gold medal with a big first ride, almost 700 points and still 20 seconds left to go, 800 points still to go. So far we've seen air screws, we've seen Pan Ams, we've seen back Pan Ams, we've seen helixes. What does he have left? How about a blunt McNasty? That was absolutely ridiculous. Right
And the
into
other
the
way.
other one. Oh my goodness. Huge ride for Mason. He just claims it and doesn't even bother with the last 2 seconds of his ride. I'm pretty
Look
sure.
at that score shooting up there.
I mean, that's not even a slow clap. That's an absolute applause clap right there.
That was a masterclass of big wave paddling. That was
Fantastic first ride for Mason Hargrove. Only 19 years old. Look at that huge air screw and trying to get the clean bonus on the landing. Not sure if it counts quite that way, but we will see. Absolutely ridiculous first ride from young Mason Hargrove. I believe you would say the gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah, I think there's one particular paddler who's going to react quite seriously to this one.
I would say two.
I would say two.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
let's not-
maybe.
I'd
Yeah,
say
we
Nick-
can't discount Nick.
You
Nick's
can.
he's such a nice guy, though.
But he can still throw down. I think Nick is just, definitely wouldn't say the grandfather, but he is a dad, you know, but he, I think, has been a huge role model for Mason in the last few years. He's really done a lot along with Stephen Wright to coach Mason, to bring him up to the level of being a world champion, because Mason was a junior world champion.
Yeah.
And he has really spent hours, I think, working with and coaching Mason. So this is going to be a question of, is it the master or is it the young sensei? Who is going to bring down these higher scoring rides here? And I think any one of them is capable. And then, of course, Dane Jackson, still to come.
Of course.
So score still flashing. Still flashing.
That is a good sign for Mason here.
I'll say. So I know that Mason was hoping to hit around an 1,800 point score at some point in this competition. And I think with a ride like that, 1,500 points is a solid start. I can hear Mom Melissa yelling at the judges, keep the score going up. Miss Sister McKinley Kate also absolutely throwing down in the junior women's category earlier today. You can tell she and Mason have spent hours practicing on this wave. And then there's also Mary Claire and Mathis, who are their two younger siblings, talented paddlers in their own right. And Mary Claire, too young to compete here at this World Cup, but she's looking forward to when she can. 1,506.67 points. Wow. Huge first ride score for Mason.
That's a big entry ride. I'm blown away by that from Mason Hargrove there. That is really epic. So now we've got Nick Troutman. He's going to come straight in, straight off the pass for a big air screw. He's going to fight for that place as well. Air screw the other way. Look at that, hull to hull. That's perfect.
That is Nick, raised in Beachburg, Ontario, raised by the Ottawa River, spending a lot of his, I'd say, teenage years traveling around with the Jackson clan in the RV. Nick, a former world champion of Toon in Switzerland in 2007, I believe.
2009.
Yes, 2009. Oh, that was a massive back Pan Am from Nick, going for a clean blunt, maybe a clean Pan Am, right into an over vertical back blunt. I would probably call that a back Pan Am. Into a Pan Am in the direction. Back it up, Nick, back it up. But still, if you're going to flush, do it with 2 seconds left on the clock. So, still a strong first ride from Nick Troutman out of Canada. Mom Paula, Dad Rick are probably sitting at home on the couch with their classic cowbell, cheering everything on. And I know that they will be down here at the World Championship next year for sure, representing Nick and all of Team Canada. Look at that ridiculous air screw. Just absolutely remarkable. Nick, also one of the, I think, people who spent a lot of time on the stakeout scene in Canada, working to and discovering a lot of the new waves and some of the waves that are now considered established classics. I think one of the first people to surf the Gladiator wave on the Ottawa River. So just Nick, just so much big water and big wave expertise.
Yeah, there's a lot of good footage out there of Nick on Gladiator, Ruins wave as well, just outside Ottawa City.
Actually, yep, but so right on the border of Ottawa and Quebec.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And these are monster waves. So Nick is no stranger to this. And that's a great first ride from him. He's looking around 9:16. We're still waiting to see what the score.
Oh, no worries. You're the best. Yeah, so points are still tallying here. Wife Emily. I was going to say Nick Emily, but that was wrong. Also, kids Tucker and Parker down in the crowd. So Nick really embracing that life on the road with your kids, embracing the outdoors, mountain biking, hiking, supping, doing everything. They've actually got a TV show that follows around with their family called The Great Family Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually follows the Jackson Troutman clan around as they go and do things. So really talented content creator as well. So yeah, just longtime Team NRS paddler, obviously Team Jackson paddler, but just one of my favorite paddlers to watch. So 970. Let's see. Scores just keep going. What will happen next? 970. So not quite a 1500, but still very, very respectable first ride score. Where is our top 10 currently sitting as we come into our last paddler in this heat, the one, the only, Dane Jackson? We'll load those scores up for you.
Okay, Dane Jackson dropping into the feature now in his pink plastic Jackson Rockstar 5.
Yeah, Jackson actually recently put out pink as a standard color, which they named GOAT, the GOAT, greatest of all time. I thought that was a wonderful tribute to who might be the greatest paddler of all time, Dane Jackson. Air screw, Pan Am the other direction. Oh, back it up, Dano. Here we go. Huge back Pan Am to start things off. So much control, so much precision in him, going for that clean back blunt, not using his paddles, going for a flip turn right to the top of the wave for this big pass, going for a huge helix, coming in for a clean blunt the other direction, going for a massive back Pan Am, oh my goodness, and an early flush, and still over 1,000 points. So Dane, being a bit of a wave purist, I know initially didn't want to throw blunt McNasties because he didn't think that they were really like a wave enough trick. You know, he wants to go for that KY, that pistol flip style move, and I think we're going to see some of those in his rides here to come. But Dane, just what a phenom. Part of Team Send. I mean, just, I don't know if there's an event out there that Dane hasn't won if he's entered it. He's won the North Fork Championship. He's won the GoPro Games in Vail. He's won the World Champion.
I'm not sure he won the Nottingham Freestyle League.
Oh, well, there's something at least for the rest of us. So Dane, 1170, even score, ride number 1. So that alone should break him into that top 10, and he still has 2 more rides to go. But next up, Bartosz Chowderna of Poland.
Okay, Bartosz dropping in now. Let's see what we've got from him. Straight for an air screw. Beautiful air screw the other way. Sticking it nice and easy. He's still popping into another move. Looking for a roundhouse to the left.
Bartosz, nice back blunt to follow that up. Bartosz out of Poland, spending a lot of time on the Nile Special Wave and also new waves in Uganda that he has helped to find after the dam has gone in. Coach for Love It Live It, excuse me. And I also owe Bartosz an apology because yesterday I was guessing at Bartosz's age because he's just been paddling in the scene for about as long as I can remember, and he's only 30 this year. So I think has just accomplished so much and is such a talented paddler. He messaged me yesterday. He was like, "Hey, I'm only 30," and I was like, "Yes, you are. I'm so sorry." It's just look at that. Such beautiful air screws, such beautiful expertise out there. Also coaching other athletes, working with the European Whitewater School along with former world champion Kim Fontenay of Spain, bringing up the next generation, training up the juniors. So Bartosz 566.67, 545. So solid combined ride score of 1,100 points, but he's going to be looking to boost that score in the next round.
Yeah, it's a good ride from Bartosz there. Harry Price from Nottingham, UK.
What has Harry got for us? Harry also putting down a, 900, 1,000 point ride in his first ride. Going to be looking to repeat that. So big air screw to start things off.
And the other way. That's perfect. Again, hull to hull, we're seeing these senior men throwing down some massive air screws here. It's going straight back from maybe a back Pan-Am or a back blunt. The score's racking up on the bottom left of your screen. They will keep going up and up as our paddlers throw down more moves. Looking for a helix to the left there. That's a very complicated move. That's worth 150 points. And he's going back the other way as well. Still staying in the foam pile.
That's
Still
right.
moving around.
It's getting.
It looks like Harry's lost his helmet there.
No. It's getting really challenging to see as the sun drops right in behind our screen here. Has he lost his helmet?
I believe Harry has lost his helmet there on one of those helixes.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if he just forgot to buckle it, or just the force of the whitewater and how much energy he's putting into the wave just took it right off his head. We will have to wait and see this on the replay.
Yeah, this kind of paddling, there is really no option. You have to be wearing a helmet. There's rocks in the water. There's your boat you have to consider in your paddle. So Harry taking the right decision there as soon as he knew he'd lost his helmet to back off the wave and firstly look after himself rather than his competition rides.
Yeah, but
and that's a great decision. Yeah,
I'm really enjoying the replay here, though. We see that Pan Am right into the back Pan Am. So 843.33, 1886.66. That should break Harry comfortably into the top 5 with just 2 rides. So now our current single highest ride score of the day so far, young Mason Hargrove out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Huge air screw to start things off. Air screw the other direction. So technical. Oh, and an early flush for Mason. If that doesn't sum up the challenge of this World Cup feature, I don't know what does. Yeah, it just shows even the best out there are still struggling with this wave. If you get an unlucky pass and a tongue coming through this wave, you can still flush. You can still flush. Look at the power and explosion in that air screw as Mason just really kicks his feet out, landing just a little bit too high up on the pile and taking that early flush. So there's going to be a lot of competitors holding their breath right now to see where they land. So who is our current top 10? Right now on one ride alone, Dane Jackson sitting in that top 10 position. I think it's safe to say that he will stay in the top 10 or better his score, but right now it is his brother-in-law out of Beachburg, Ontario, Rock Island, Tennessee, Nick Troutman. So Nick dropping in here, starting things off with, oh my goodness, a bit of a long dart of a blunt as he just kind of lost his angle there. I think it's getting really challenging for these competitors to see, recovering with a huge air screw. I can hear Courtney Karen out of New Zealand on the live stream, spending lots of time with these guys, no stranger to the Jackson family, cheering Nick on as he goes for the next air screw and then a huge helix. Oh, big back blunt there, slash maybe a Pan Am, but coming off the back. Sometimes these paddlers can go so big that they're coming right off the back of the wave by the time they're landing their moves. It's true. There's so much power that they're putting down that, you know, it's like your boat just hits the water and rejects off of it. But again, 3 rides, 2 count. Nick can have a throwaway ride, and even with that throwaway ride, I do think his combined score would put him safely in the top 10, if not in that top 5. Look at that. Look at the skill here and the recovery as he knows his bow catches. He somehow manages to bring it back around, sets it up, and takes almost no time at all before he sets up for that first air screw, which was ridiculous. Look at that. How did he get the amplitude on that trick? I think it just defied the laws of physics, at least the physics I learned in high school. Right into the next air screw. That subject wasn't my forte. Oh, mine either. I actually think I failed. So yeah, Nick 1,546.67, so solidly in the top 10, even with what I would say for Nick was a throwaway ride.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still got one more chance to show what he's got. Dane Jackson now. Surfing across, ready for the feature. He's composed. He's in bib number 1. Let's see what he's got. Straight for an air screw. We didn't even need to watch that before we saw what was going on. Straight the other way. Blunt to the left.
Unusual.
Blunt, Pan Am to the right. Racking up points straight over 500. Back Pan Am to the left. Into a flashback with a back blunt. Looking for a helix there. And a helix the other way. Maybe a Felix. A helix is when you get air on that 360-degree rotation upside down. A Felix is where you catch the water.
Oh.
Pistol flip. There we go to the right. Sorry for my voice there.
5 seconds left. We'll be going the other direction. That's a giant back Pan Am, I think. And 1 more second left to go. And a spin.
Yeah, why not? That's perfect. That's a really nice run there from Dane.
Yeah, you can see Dane trying to push Mason to see who's going to get the honors of saying highest ride score of the event or highest ride score of the day. Dane really fighting to retain that number 1 spot. Chloe, take a deep breath if you are watching. Dane did good. So Dane, full-time RV living. Look at that air screw, just absolute technician. Dane, you know, I think if I'm going to expect any paddler to eventually put down the double air screw, 2 rotations on 1 trick, it's going to be Dane Jackson. You know, him spending time out on Dreamwave, out on the in Manitoba. I think just doing so much to pioneer big wave surfing, to really push big wave surfing, and just, oh, here we go. That score is climbing into the 1,500 point mark. Where is it going to land? So Mason's high ride was 15:06.67. Dane currently sitting higher than that with 15:36, but the score is still flashing. We will see what happens here. Gosh, this is exciting.
This is a really intense quarterfinals.
It's just every ride, I think it just keeps getting better. Look at that pistol flip. Oh my gosh.
I think that might be the first pistol flip we saw in this.
I think Dane did one in the last round. I don't know if he landed them. I think he may have flushed off the wave, but I know he got at least one of them, but nothing of that size. And right there into the back Pan Am off of that next one. Really similar looking tricks. Hard to differentiate between, but that is why we are not a judge. Dane, 15:36.67, currently the single highest ride score of the day, bringing him up well into first place, 2,700 points. Whew. You know, I think what people don't see, right, is the hours and the amount of time that Dane has spent in a boat to get that good. That didn't happen just by birth or by last name or by circumstance. Like, Dane has spent every minute, I think, of every possible minute he can on the water, training, pushing to be the best. But right now, of European Whitewater School of Love It, Live It, Bartosz Czarderna out of Poland.
Okay, again, starting off with a lovely air screw there, and he's going to go back the other way. That's perfect. Stay on the wave, Bartosz. Let's keep going. He's looking for a lovely blunt to the left, maybe looking to go clean. Flashback with a back blunt there.
This is a strong start for Bartosz. He's already kind of hitting the point mark that he was where he's flushing his other 2 rides, and he's going to want to keep those points moving. Puts down a blunt, hitting some of those base tricks, if you will. Bartosz, just such a lovely human. Big Pan Am to their direction, always coaching, always helping everyone out in between his rides as he spins it around. Points are points, and 10 points can make or break the difference as he goes for that helix, and then right into the other helix on the buzzer. Unfortunately flushing on that last trick, but still a really strong ride from Bartosz.
Yeah, absolutely. Bartosz has been working his socks off this whole competition on his own paddling, but also coaching multiple paddlers through to medal positions in the previous World Cup and potentially in this World Cup as well.
Yeah, working with the European Whitewater School with Kim Fontenay. He was coaching current junior world champion and 2nd silver medalist, both Tim Rees of Germany as well as Nanase of Japan. Nanase, who's out here competing as well this week, I believe. So right now, Bartosz was sitting in 13th, and he's looking to break into that top 10. So he needs to get at least a 14:46.67 combined. Did he do it?
So remember, our paddlers had 3 runs, and their best 2 rides will be combined to create their total score. Bartosz still going up.
That is a positive direction, positive trending. And Bartosz, you can just see his dreadlocks flying, can't you? Oh, that's why I was trying to guess his age, because I was trying to guess how long he'd had his dreadlocks for. But yeah, Bartosz, absolute legend of a human. Paddling that Ukrainian-colored boat, representing all the support for Ukraine we can. Oh, Bartosz's score dropping down to 790. This is a stressful moment here, and you know, we still have tomorrow to go. We've got so much up for tomorrow. We still have all of our semi-final rounds and our finals. So we're going to be seeing a big day of competition here on a Sunday.
Absolutely.
You can make sure you check in on the ICF website to find the exact times for all of that, but we will be sure to tell you what we kick off with tomorrow as soon as we can. So 790 coming in as Bartosz's score. That puts him at a 13:56.67. Where does that place him? I'm going to quickly hit my refresh button here, but I believe that's going to place him just outside of our top 10. Yep. So that moves Bartosz into position number 11, but that currently leaves Robert Crow of Great Britain sitting in the bubble boy zone of number 10, 1446.67. So Harry Price of this heat already qualified. Who else got?
I believe we are now sat with our top 10.
Ooh, well that is exciting. So at this point, Harry Price dropping in here for his ride of 15 seconds. He's already racking up the points. And now he is just trying to fight his way to the top of the podium. So trying for a helix, but unfortunately catching that flush, but luckily having found his helmet.
Yeah, luckily. An essential piece of safety equipment there. But Harry knows he's going to go through into the next round, currently in 2nd place.
Yeah, Harry just really strong showing today. Also participating in the C1, trying a new category just for fun of it, I believe. Look at that massive air screw, massive air screw. You know, it's hard with these camera angles to exactly see the size and the dynamism of this feature here. But look at that back Pan Am, absolutely spectacular. So much amplitude, so much power. So he brings the boat over vertical. You know, you're seeing a lot of paddlers go for that flip turn, which is not a move you always see.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether those paddlers are going for the helix and maybe backing out of it, knowing that it's not quite going to go on that pass, or whether they are really going for the flip turn.
You know, flip turn is worth around 90 points, so it's not a bad thing to put into your ride.
No, absolutely
I would say, and that's, you know, that's it, right? Each trick is worth a predetermined amount of points, and so as the scores change, it's because paddlers are good at getting these over vertical tricks, these tricks that require air, like the air screw, like the helix, like the front Pan Am, the back Pan Am. And those points alone, you know, an athlete can do 4 or 5 tricks, but if they're roundhouses and spins, or even a blunt, they might not even total 1 air screw.
No, that's right. I know the pain of that.
Don't I as well. And so, you know, 716.67. So Harry's going to stick with his first 2 ride scores, sitting currently in 2nd place. I know that our next paddler, Mason Hargrove, is going to be looking to knock him off that spot. Mason putting down a 1,500-point ride in his first ride. The crowd is going wild as they cheer him on. They would love to see him at the top of the scoreboard. Big air screw to start things off. Air screw the other direction. What has he got for us next? Nice Pan Am to the left. Stabilizing, sending it around, taking the time to control it as he feels that, oh my god, how did he throw a back Pan Am out of that? Absolutely ninja magic skills. This kid, only 19 years old, going for that flip turn, going for the, maybe a blunt? I think he was trying for that blunt McNasty that he's just been nailing. There it is, blunt McNasty in the foam. Crowd cheering him on as he works to retain the feature. Huge Pan Am, the other way. Ooh, he is on that flush blind, but it's not going to bother him. He is around the 1,000-point marks right now, and still one more trick on the buzzer. A big back Pan Am. What a ride for Mason Hargrove. Oh my goodness, 2 rides over 1,000 points. That should put him into second place. And comfortably over 1,000 points, may I say.
I would say so. That's going to be another real high-scoring move. Mason, certainly one of the favorites here.
Yeah, you know, the Hargrove family doing lots of work with City of Columbus to promote the sport of whitewater, coaching with Team River Runner, helping out, volunteering a lot of their time to teach people how to paddle. So many people involved in this competition have told me, yeah, I got my start paddling because of the Hargrove family. They really encouraged me. And I just think that is really cool to see.
Yeah, they're so welcoming into the area, into the sport, and their passion just passes on to the next paddler on the river and the eddy next to them. So
it's true. My gosh, this has been a big day. Long day here, but we are nearing the end of our quarterfinals. We are on run number 3 of heat number 4. We only have 2 paddlers left to go. Right now our top 10 paddlers are qualified, but these next 2 rides will determine in what order they start their semifinals tomorrow. So 1263.33. That should bump Mason into, is it spot number 1 or spot number 2? Spot number 1. Woo! You can tell that because of the gold number 1 by his name. Oh dear. Pressure is on. Gosh, it just keeps getting better.
Okay, Nick Troutman in his sparkly Jackson Rockstar 5 coming out hot, ready to throw down. He's already qualified, but he wants to show what he's got. Yeah. Maybe even take it as a little bit of training ready for the finals.
I would imagine so. So Nick, big air screw to start things off, regaining control, air screw the other direction, flushing early on his second ride, knowing that he wants to get back to that 800, 1,000 point mark, maybe even higher, putting down a big helix, going for that flip turn. Nick just so much control on the wave, helix the other direction, spinning it around, backing it up, going for a big back Pan Am. Oh gosh, that trick is just so much fun to watch, isn't it? Back Pan Am the other direction. Boat so over vertical, making it easy for me to call these tricks as he goes for the blunt. McNasty, can he stick it? Will that count?
Yeah, that's up for the judges to decide.
You know, thank you to our judges, all of whom here are volunteering.
They are, that's right. And it's not an easy event to watch. The heat is incredible down here today. It's 6:15 in the evening and the heat is still burning down on top of us all. It's a tiring day, but the judges are working hard to make sure they...
Yeah, I commented on it yesterday. They gave us water bottles. They gave us sunscreen. They wanted to make sure that we were prepared for the Columbus heat. And, you know, like I said yesterday, they originally thought about holding the World Championship in July. And the Columbus locals just said, absolutely not. You will all die of heat exhaustion. We will melt. Please don't do it. And so that's why we are here in October on this Good Wave feature. Jake, did you know this feature was, I believe, a little bit of an accident? So rumor has it.
Yeah, so I do believe...
Oh, Nick Troutman with 1,053, so putting him over the 2,000 point mark and taking that 3rd place spot.
That's not a bad place to be. No, so this this good wave that we've got is just about 50 meters below the original wave that it was meant to be.
That's right.
There was a lot of money pumped into making this wave happen. And unfortunately, the wave didn't occur where it was meant to, but we still have this amazing wave just downstream.
That Dane Jackson is just about to dominate, starting things off with maybe a donkey flip to the right direction. Oh my God, Dane, what are you doing? Please get, okay, there he goes. Sorry to all those watching at home. Dane just, you know, air screw after air screw after air screw. He's just taking a practice ride at this point, I think, is just trying to dial in what does he need to do to get the biggest trick possible. He's not worried about wasting his energy to earn top honors going into semifinals. He just wants to get a good ride, points on the board, and dial in exactly the tricks he's going to want to do tomorrow. He knows he's qualified through. So there we go. Helix to one direction, helix to the other direction. Gosh, I wish my practice rides looked anything like that. I wish my competition rides looked anything like that. Dane comfortably and casually breaking the 1,000 point barrier.
Yeah, I'd have taken half of that.
Yeah. Just showing his dominance, showing why he is, I think, the GOAT. The man in pink, the Red Bull helmet, Dane Jackson. Look at that huge air screw. And then just so landing in the foam, losing that control, not thinking it's scored, and going back and doing it not once, but twice. Just showing that control, showing that consistency that has made him the best.
Yeah, I think it can be said, though, this is also a guy that will stand on the riverbank for the whole day and watch everyone else paddle. He will always be encouraging to everyone else. He will always wish everyone else in his heat good luck.
He is. I think he's just one of the best competitors to be on the water with. He is just genuinely happy to see everyone do their best, is always out there cheering people on, helping people out. A lot of competitors hiding in their room all day away from the sun. Dane out here on the side of the river, making sure to cheer on all of his friends from around the world. And you know, when you've spent time traveling like Dane has, that gets hard because you probably have a friend in every single heat. And yet he doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter. He just wants to be out there supporting everybody and growing the sport. So what a legend.
Okay, so Dane's last ride going green at 996.67, giving him a total of 2706.67. So his first two rides counting, putting him through 2 semi-finals in second place. And now we can give you
our top 10.
Our top 10, yeah, our semi-finals.
So these will be going tomorrow in reverse order. So that will be Rob Crow of Great Britain, Luke Pomeroy of Canada, Gav Barker of Great Britain, Alan Ward of Great Britain, Visa Ricola of Finland, and in that top 5, our second heat will be Caleb Grady of Canada, Harry Price, Nick Troutman, Dane Jackson, and Mason Hargrove. So, wow, what a quarterfinals. What a fantastic day of competition here on the Chattahoochee River. There's still water for a few more minutes, maybe half an hour, and we're seeing athletes dropping on to take advantage of that now. But we will be back tomorrow with the with the women's semifinal round. I believe I will be competing around 9:15 in the morning. So be sure to tune back in. Thank you again to all of our volunteers, all of our sponsors, Whitewater Express, Uptown Columbus, for everything that's gone into making this event happen. I'm Anna Bruno.
I'm Jake Boswell. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.